produce. And so I ask every stakeholder, what are we doing to sharpen young people in a world that is becoming every day ruled and governed by copyright laws? Because at the end of the day, I have grown up not producing my work. And now, I'm starting a company. Before you know it, you're starting a company that is stealing people's songs. And before you know it, you're being sued every morning, night and day. So we need to begin having interactive and engaging and meaningful conversations about future skills. Because the world we live in right now demands you to produce your own. Okay? So 4 things, and then we'll be done here. Critical thinking. Critical thinking. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the truth is our young people don't want to think anymore. No one wants to think. It's as good as, especially now that we're having AI coming in, ChatGPT every day. Just type in the question you want and they will give you all. And at my university recently, they installed an AI checker. So even if you steal anyhow, the checker will find you that it is not your work. And you can't survive if that's how you've been raised as a student, as a young person. The problem is that our young people don't want to think. In such a microwave generation, we want quick fixes, quick loans, fast foods. We don't want to go through the process of producing our own work. In one of my presentations, I mentioned it has taken me 11 years to raise space setters to a level whereby we can now have a global interaction with partners. Process. But you see, critical thinking demands that you analyze, that you scrutinize, that you actually look at data appropriately and then you begin to apply it. I don't know many young people who are willing to go through the process of looking at how the markets are running. Before you can talk about, I want to sell my maize, how are the markets performing? What's happening on the global scale? So critical thinking, our young people must be challenged on the aspect of thinking for themselves. Think about how the war in Ukraine affects your village market. Begin to think about how the budgets begin to operate as a country. Of course, when Matia Kasaija is reading the budget, all of us have closed our books and shut down the radios. But I think it's important for you to know. And it's important for you to begin shaping your activities and your daily work based on what's happening around you. And the challenge is that most of our young people don't want to think. Okay? So we have to think. And one of the things that can trigger your thinking is the people you surround yourself with. That's the truth. If all you have around you is everyone around you asking you what the next bet is going to be like, and yet you are thinking of growing your market, then they will not help you. So we must also take into considerations the people we hang around with. I'm not saying that look only for the nice people and surround yourself with them, no. But I think you must be intentional even in the relationships you develop on campus. And I think the biggest lie from the pit of hell that young people have is they think they're going to be young forever. I graduated in 2015 and I look back and how time flies so fast. But we think we have all the time as young people to do all we want. So be intentional, including the relationships that you have. Number 2, creativity. How important is the aspect of creativity when it comes to the markets, to the things that we are doing, to the agriculture and the sports and everything we are doing? Creativity comes into play because creativity helps us to forge solutions to some of the problems that our world suffers with today. 3 weeks ago, I happened to visit Porsche, BMW, and Mercedes. Very incredible brands that you can talk about. BMW is over 100 years old. And the question is, how do they sustain such a brand for all these years? Actually, I read at Porsche that the only reason Porsche has managed to survive 75 years is because it is ever changing with the times. So are you able to roll with the times? Are you able to survive even when times change? For instance, most of you know Madivani, right? The original Madivani came here as a 12-year-old boy from India, 1912. Begins trading in sugar, and they became a sugar factory. But as we talk now, Madivani is doing hotels, is doing sugar, is doing education. How do you begin to roll with the times? And I think that's one of the biggest challenges of our time, that we want to get stuck with where we are and we expect different results. But one of the things that stood out for me was Porsche. Because Porsche, 75 years ago, Porsche said that I looked around and I could not find the car I dreamt of. So you know what I did? I decided to design it myself. He looked for a car he wanted. He couldn't find one. So he went home and designed the kind of car he wanted. And today, all of you are dreaming about driving Porsche cars. Creativity. So the question is, before you begin to look at your neighbor's maize and potatoes and everything else, what is the ideal market you want to tap into? One of the worst things I can ever do is to eat bananas and pineapples in Europe because they are not nice. They get them from South America. They spend months in containers. So by the time they come to your home, it's wasted. And my question is, why don't they import them from Africa, which is closer? But it also goes back to the quality of things we are growing. Germans are painfully eating nasty pineapples because of your laziness of not producing standardized goods. Good morning, everybody. So we must begin to think of new ways. Like C.S. Lewis has told us, think about not cutting down jungles, but irrigating deserts. We must begin to think about new ways of doing things. The problem is, what my neighbor has done is what I want to do, and that's not going to work. And so there are so many dreams, so many aspirations of our young people. For instance, at MUST, I will ask you a question. You have a software department. But why do students have to painfully go to every office to seek signatures for clearance at graduation? Why isn't there a centralized system where everybody signs? But for 2 weeks, a student is looking for one signature to get clearance for graduation. But there's a software department. So we must think beyond the ordinary. And then, number 3 is communication. Now, I have lived long enough to understand that everybody talks, but not everybody communicates. And if you want talkers, in Uganda we talk. If you want talkers, in Uganda we talk. But not everybody communicates. Good morning. Ask your neighbor, I know you talk, but do you communicate? Eh? Because you see, in communication, I know each one of us here, when they asked us about our expectations, and if I went through another session of asking about what our dreams are, incredible, brilliant ideas that you guys have. But the question is, how do we begin to translate these ideas, these dreams, into something that partners and sponsors and funders can begin to run to? While in Bayern Munich, I made a story of a young man, Felix Finkbeiner. Maybe some of you have heard or read about an organization called Plant for the Planet. And at the age of 9 in 2007, this little boy had a story about Wangari Maathai. You remember Wangari Maathai? She was a Kenyan environmentalist and the first female black actually to get a Nobel Peace Prize. So he read about Wangari Maathai and how she was doing this Green Belt movement and planting trees in Kenya. This 9-year-old boy is inspired. And the following day, he begins to plant trees. Actually, he planted one tree in front of his classroom. 4 years later, after he has begun his organization, at the age of 9, the UN, the United Nations Environment Program, entrusts their billion tree project to Felix's organization. And by the age of 13, he had convinced the whole UN General Assembly that planting trees was the way to go for the future. At the age of 13, a CEO convincing presidents, and every country now is running his program. Why? He learned how to communicate his dream. So you have ideas. Right now, if we gave you a paper, you would write everything that you know. But can you communicate it? So one of the biggest challenges, and we must begin to tackle even right from campus, is to teach our young people to learn to communicate. It's easy to tell that everyone here, someone talked about that they are looking forward to lunch. But I'll tell you, if I go 2-3 hours talking like this, you will communicate, whether you say it or not. I will look at your body. I'll look at the way you're seated. Some of you will begin to move out. You are communicating something to me. So how do you translate your idea into something that funders can look up to? The other aspect, even as I finish on communication, is the fact that you listen to young people coming to pitch. I've had a few sessions where I'm part of pitching audiences. And you can't communicate it. Why? Because it's not your idea. You have listened to someone, you have copied what the other person is doing, and you are trying to sell something that's not originally yours. So we must go back to originality, even when we are trying to build our companies, our dreams, and everything that we are doing. Collaboration. Collaboration comes a lot with partnerships. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. There is no single person that ever built anything without partnership. Not anybody. Even the Mercedes-Benz, Mercedes almost was running bankrupt. So you know what he did? He ran to some guy called Daimler Chrysler, and they formed a partnership for the company Mercedes to survive. Bill Gates, 2016, he ran to Dangote to start a partnership that would help them end hunger in Nigeria. Even the world's richest people are looking for partners. You can't do it alone. The problem is that everyone wants to be, I want to be the first one to do it. No, you cannot. You need one another. That young man, that young lady seated next to you on this table, you need them. They may not smile like you, they may not have the nicest cologne and perfume like you have, but you need them. Because 10 years from now, you might see them on TV and wondering, but I remember this guy from somewhere. So we cannot build anything without working with one another. You've had it all said, together we stand and divided we fall. How I wish we can translate that into the dreams and aspirations that Apple, for instance, you know the Apple story very well. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak came together. Where were they? In a garage. Can you imagine Apple started in a garage? Partnership, irrespective of where you start from. Whether you started with 2 eggs and now you have a big farm. Partnership. And today Apple is the most valuable company in the world. The first company to hit $1 trillion value. But where did they start from? In a garage. With partnership, irrespective of how you start. The other day we were laughing with my colleagues in Kampala how we started with one partner giving us 120,000 shillings. In 2012, 120,000 We used to use it for outreach. We used to use it for transport. We used to use it for drinks. Today, the story is different. We received one of the biggest donations we have ever got in January. I'll not tell you the value. And we look back at 120,000 shillings that for the last 2 years, 2012 and 2013. But partnership is what counts most. So are you willing to work with other people on the product you're developing, on the markets that you want to develop? It takes partnerships. Anyone heard about public-private partnerships? Public-private partnerships. It's a common thing now. Even governments are looking for people to work with. Now, young man in Isinjiro, you think you can do it alone. You cannot. Look for associations like these and be a part of them. Listen to their ideas. Listen to how people have made it over time. Because this one helps you to build capacity. And then before I finish, we were talking about adaptability, resilience, and continuous learning in such a changing world. Do you know that the world is changing so fast? I remember when we were growing up, people used to chase us to go and sleep from watching TV. You remember that? But right now, people are spending nights on TV. No one is chasing them anymore. Times are changing so fast. And we must be ready as entrepreneurs. We must be ready in such a changing world. And you see, we cannot solve today's problems with yesterday's methods. That is something we also need to learn. That the world is rapidly changing. COVID just ended, but do you know what was happening? People selling masks were almost the richest people in the country. Everyone was buying a mask. Today, look around this room, no one has a mask. They've closed shop. So the world is changing, but how do we come to a level whereby we are changing with the times? Now, also changing with the times can also be a bit dangerous at some point. Your vision might also change. Your aspects might also change. But I think also we must be faithful enough to stick to our vision. Stick to your fundamentals. Speak to the things that made you who you are. Speak to the things that made you trustworthy in the first place. And sometimes as young people, today you try this, tomorrow you start this, tomorrow you start another thing, and people get confused what they're going to support you with. Today you started maize. Next week you're in Irish. The other week you're in border. We are looking for someone to support, but we can't support someone that is ever changing like that. So we must also be faithful enough with what we started with. And the aspect of technology, and also in such a digital age, I've seen farms across Europe as we were doing our trips in Denmark and Sweden. Everything is mechanized. You literally have one person running acres and acres of land. But also, how do we as Africans, as Ugandans, begin to operate in such a digital age with such technology? Actually, back in the days, if you were aboard an aircraft, they would tell you to switch off your phone, switch off every electronic device. But as of 2023, you can even chat and Facebook and WhatsApp when you are 40,000 feet above the ground. Times are changing with technology. But also the question is, how do you adapt to this? How do you adapt to technology? How do you adapt in such a digital age? Please look at me. Don't look at anyone moving. I'm about to finish. How do you adapt with technology? You heard about a number of companies refusing to use 5G. A number of them didn't want to use it because the question was, how does this impact us? How does it impact the product? And how does it impact the end user? Those questions must also be on your table as you adapt to technology. Will this make a difference in Isinjiro, where I come from? How will this impact the farmers in Kanyarieru? We are quick to jump to something new because it's technology, it's making life easy. But how is it going to throw off the customers or the suppliers or the people you have been working with? So we must be able to judge. I will use the term discernment. We must be able to discern when and how to introduce these new technologies along the way. Okay? Actually, right now, there is a very big strike going on in Hollywood. For those of you that are following the news. In over 60 years, they have never had any strike. But right now, they're striking film writers. You know why? Because of artificial intelligence. And for the whole month, no one is writing new scripts. Because they're asking themselves the question, what happens when we bring AI into the film industry? So you yourself as a farmer, as an entrepreneur, don't be just quick to jump on something new because everyone is talking about it. Analyze and process how it's going to impact your market, how it's going to impact your skill, your capacity to produce. I have a cousin of mine, he had an opportunity to meet Salim Saleh. Very excited, and he was doing fish farming. We were doing that in Entebbe. And Salim asked him, can you supply me 100,000 tons of maize? He's a young man who has just begun growing maize 2-3 days before. And that opportunity went. So many of us are praying for and fasting. Anyone spent a night last Friday praying for new doors in the church? Many of you here. But do you have the capacity to sustain what you're praying for? If right now, are you doing any agriculture? What are you growing? Yeah? Yeah? Dairy. For instance, can you supply the Arab world with millions of liters of? You can't do that. So you begin to look for partners. You begin to look for machinery to increase your output. So even as you're praying for doors, I challenge you that be honest enough to build your capacity. While you're praying and fasting, also work hard at building your capacity. Lastly, the aspect of global citizenship and cultural competence. Please look at me. Don't look at anyone walking in. You're distracting them. How do we as a country stand out? The truth of the matter is, when you ask everybody in Europe, you know where Uganda is, they'll tell you, I don't know. The closest they'll come to is they'll say, I know Kenya somewhere. Or if they've helped you enough, they'll tell you, oh, Idi Amin is the one I remember. Because in 40 years, you have shown them nothing. The new generation has even no idea. I remember I was talking about one of our programs, and someone honestly asked me, where is everything you're talking about? Where is it found? Talked about Uganda, talked about the gorillas, talked about anything else. And they have no idea who Uganda is. Is it a place? Is it a person? Is it a village? So how do we stand out as a country? In 40 years, we haven't shown them anything. And I said, no, look here. I was in Bayern Munich. I said, right here in this stadium is where Jonah Kibua was in 1972. I said, we remember Kibua, but we don't know where he came from. So even as a country, do we continue to define ourselves with what we are producing, with what we are giving, even right now? Beyond the Rolex and beyond the chaos that we are selling out there. But also in the global citizenship. For instance, now Uganda used to be known as one of the most hospitable countries. Does the red color on our flag still stand for brotherhood, even when we can no longer identify with people in Karamoja who are hungry? Brotherhood, right? Do we still have that spirit of brotherhood? When all you can do is, as you're walking by the road, someone will kill you just to get a phone of 250,000 shillings. Do we still have that spirit of brotherhood? So as I finish, my task was simple. To help us think about what we are doing. Yes, we're into agriculture, we're into textiles, but can we actually, in the next 10 years, right now, 52% of Uganda is what? Below 15 years. Now, in 10 years, these 15-year-olds are going to be looking for jobs from you. Can you build an entity that will employ 100,000 people in 10 years? It begins now. When you are at university, I was in year one when we started this organization. I had no idea what it would come. And today people in Germany and Sweden and everywhere are asking what we can do with them. So 10 years from now, these 15-year-old people are going to come to you to employ them at your firms. Will you have capacity enough to employ them? Thank you for listening.
Do they say danke in German to say thank you? Danke. Thank you very much, Director Peter Dushabe, for this session. And let us give him a hand of applause. No. You see, when we were growing up in nursery, we had that part of bees moving around. And we always do zzz, as we were warming up, not so? And when I say chap, we clap, not so? Let's warm it up. Chap. We do it one more time as we give him a sincere thank you. Stop. Thank you very much. You see, when we were growing up back then in the 80s, we used to have mentorship. And this is where we used to go to our elders and cling to them for information. With the changing world, they gave it a term called volunteering, because it's a world where it's your skill that makes you pay. Now, when it became volunteering, social media and memers called it okwesiba ku bantu. So this has been a big hindrance to most of the youths today. And the fact is that opportunities don't always give that hard knock. It's a soft knock. But strategic location gives you that chance and puts you in places where action is present. And it gives you a chance to forge your own way out and your own path to success. And so right now there is a sheet going around for skills showcase. And this is an opportunity for us who are out there. You have ideas. We are going to use only 20 minutes. So those who will come up here, I want around only 10 people. The first 10 to come, those who have registered. If you're having any ideas or any active projects, you can please come and take 2 minutes. Talk about your idea. Talk about your project. If you have products, for example, come and show them to us. But then, if it's an idea, please just come and talk about it. People here are great thinkers. People here need people who think and have the creativity to bring these to work. And I think right now, let us welcome Kalema Gilbert from Nexo Aftershave to come and showcase to us.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good morning once again. Yeah, my name is Kalema Gilbert. I'm I'm a student at Mbarara University of Science and Technology. I'm in my third year doing bachelor's degree in business administration. So we have like a company, and this company is student-based. Yeah, majorly we came up with ideas of how we can deal with life after campus. And one of the idea was making, we have products, different products. Majorly, we have, that one is called Nexo aftershave. If you have a problem with your skin, like after shaving or after trimming, you develop irritations here. Yeah, it is very effective. And then the other thing is about the Vaseline, the anti-aging Vaseline called the Visage Clear Cream. I didn't move with it because we made last time and the order was overwhelming, so it got done. Yeah, but it is very effective. Yeah, that one we are, okay. That aftershave which I'm having now, it goes for 12K. Just 12K, because it is on promotion. Can give you a 12K. I think if there is someone who can, yeah, 12K you can get it at a discount. Very effective, and you know it is student based. Yeah. By the way, this one bought one of our product, and this is the Vaseline I was talking about, the anti-aging. That is the Vaseline. Very effective on the skin if you're having problem with the skin. Yeah, you have you know, with pimples, those people who have pimples, that is the Vaseline. Thank you.
Thank you, Nexo Aftershave. What about us who don't have beards but we are planning to have? What should we do? Okay, right now let us welcome the next person to showcase. And this is Mwesugwa Richard. Remember, we told you opportunities, strategic location. Please, first come, first serve. 10 people, 2 minutes each. Mwesugwa Richard, you're most welcome.
Thanks so much. Once again, I'm Mwesugwa Richard. I happen to run a project that was manufacturing, but the product is still under development. That is mato shoe polish. Basically, it is out of banana peelings, and we did this basing on the farmers. As agriculturists or farmers, our guardians are based in agriculture. So we found this was always put to waste. To utilize that, we had to come up with the mato shoe polish, whereby 70% of the mato shoe polish is from the banana peelings. It can be from the yellow banana peelings or fresh. It depends. And we had a prototype some time back, so we are still working upon it for further improvement. And we are also trying to increase the earnings of the local people, farmers in rural areas, because we usually find them, they sell bananas. At the same time, they have school-going children. They have school-going children, and they have to spend on the shoe polish, especially when they are getting back to school. So we are like, when we come up with this innovation, at least it will be a win-win solution. Yeah, that's it. And also our market segments were the corporate workers, because they usually put on gently, put on the black shoes. And we are also trying to bridge the gap with the prices, hiking prices of different brands already on the market. So ours is estimated to be low and available products in the market. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard, with that great innovation, shoe polish coming from banana peelings. Right now, let us have Atiba Huzaifa to come and present to us and showcase his skill and idea. Huzaifa? Let us be mindful of time. 2 minutes strictly.
Okay, good morning to you all. My name is Siba Uzaifa, doing a bachelor's degree in agriculture and livelihoods, and I'm in my second year. So me with my team, we are working on a project which is aimed at bringing up an organic pesticide. Because as we have been visiting different farms, and we found out that different farms who are engaged in rabbit keeping, they have been having urine which has been wasting. They've just been wasting it. So there is need of developing an organic pesticide, which is going to, some of the ingredients will be the rabbit urine, and other ingredients such as the neem tree and chili. Those are some of the ingredients we are going to use. We are looking forward to develop this pesticide so that we can embrace or tap on the opportunities which are there and outside the world, as Mr. Peter has talked about it, that the European countries are looking forward, because there is a reason why they are not taking up our products we are producing here in Uganda, just because we are more using the synthetic pesticides and synthetic fertilizers. So we are looking forward to embrace organic farming. In that way, that's why we are capping up with these organic pesticides. So thank you very much.
And I think right now, if you have some brief questions, I'll give you some few seconds to please drop them, or maybe if you have any reaction towards these ideas and projects. Any?
And guys, let us first clap for them. They have good innovations.
Yeah, good morning once again. I've told you I'm Tuchi Innocent from Buezu. Now, for me, I have ideas. For you, you had projects, but for me, I'm having ideas. And I have only 5 ideas. And they are here. Our previous speaker, thank you for presenting to us. Now, how can we develop agriculture in Uganda? 1, most of us here, we are studying to get a diploma. But you might find after getting that diploma, you will stay in the village, you will stay in the town, that you don't want to get ashamed that you have studied a diploma in agriculture and you don't want to go back in the village and practice what? Agriculture. Move from towns to villages and participate in that agriculture you have studied. Is it? First idea. Second idea, relationship. You have studied your diploma. Now, if you go back to the village, don't show people that you have attained your what? Your diploma. Learn how you can interact with them. Those local people will help us to solve the problems that we are having in agriculture, like food security. Insecurity, I mean. Because if you want to show people that you are educated, you are higher than them, they will not get you what you are taking to them. First, third point. Me.
Innocent, please.
Okay.
Please, it's an idea. Give us one idea and make it clear such that we can have another presenter.
Okay, let me just outline them. Religious, politicians, and others, culture what? I mean, here I say, if we are to be here, those people would be involved and extend those ideas to those people.
Okay.
Then third one, transition of the organization. Sir, I think if you can transfer this organization to those villages like Bueju, we can develop agriculture.
Thank you very much, Innocent, for the sake of time. I think we give him a hand clap. And right now, let us welcome Mr. Robert from Smart Girl Foundation, Uganda.
And maybe for those who have questions, you can just note them down. Then after them, we can have the questions later. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Once again, to Nomjin Robert, CEO, Smart Girl Foundation, Uganda. I'm not told that, okay, just because after my introduction here, I saw a WhatsApp message that your roommate, your course mate is dead. I've been with this guy in A level. We are sleeping in the same room. We are prefect. We had a special room. Doing the same course, we would discuss together there, sleeping in the same bed. He has been at Kabale University doing IT, and he has been a finalist. He's dead. But may his soul rest in eternal peace. Back to the point, Smart Girl Foundation, we are the people trying to bring out ladies on board. We came with an idea after seeing the ladies, more especially these ladies who drop out from school. When they are young, they are senior two and they leave school. These people go back home. After reaching home, their parents tend to neglect them or not to give care. So we came out with an idea of helping these ladies who are out of school by helping them create income-generating activities. For example, we have been involved in teaching these ladies on how to make sanitary reusable towels. And we have a number of girls that we have trained, and we have made it as a business. These are the people, after being trained, they produce. After producing, we help them in marketing. We give you an idea for free. After then you produce, we even help you in marketing. We also have an idea of, actually it is a project, mushroom growing. We are in touch with some Indians in Kampala. These are the people whom we need to learn, and if they can teach us on how to manufacture our own sperms, just because those sperms are expensive in Kampala. So we are trying all it takes. We are also in touch with a rubber farmers corporation in Kibai district. We are trying to develop these sperms ourselves, but it all needs money. Just because we lack some money, but we would be far, but just because of financial problems, we are nagging behind. But all in all, Smart Girl Foundation, we are based in Kibale district, and we are helping ladies in different projects. We may, the ladies that are there, they are dropping out of school, sorry. But all in all, Smart Girl Foundation is based in Kibale district, and we are doing it sanitary usable pads and mushroom growing. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Robert. Maybe to make this issue clear, I request that we become straightforward to the point. Let us simply put it out. We understand his case is not fine, but for the next presenters, please let us try to be straightforward to the ideas we are having. If you have any questions to him, please jot them down and forward them. Next, we are having Nasasira Isaac. Please, you're most welcome.
Our dear Mr. Peter panelist, my fellow academicians, and all who have joined us. I'm called Nasasira Isaac, doing Bachelor of Science in Agriculture, Livelihood. I'm sorry, I'm not going to add on farm production because it will make our course expired. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, they have said that when we reach here, we become straightforward. And me, I want to first pass out to this before I continue. If you have not gotten someone to challenge you, you will never, or your mind will slow down to develop an idea. I have one of my friends who is in the building. We are old student at MUST. He's called Jim. One day I was moving around the town to buy something Actually, there were vegetables, Amaranthus spp. Some of you who know. He met me and asked me, you are an agriculturist at Must. I'm very scared and wondered, and I'm not in my moods just because I met you going to buy Amaranthus and you're living in an area which is somehow gazetted and wide in that you can grow Amaranthus for yourself and other vegetables. So from there, I went back home. I thought about it. I thought he had abused me or tried to marginalize me, but I developed an idea of home gardening, home vegetable and fruit gardening. So from there, I tried to move around, to navigate around that idea. And most of you who have visited my home, I think you've seen some funny plastic bottles hanging around. So I'm trying to experiment this idea. So I thought about growing vegetables and fruits in both synthetic and organic materials, like the bottles, like the broken pots and other things. So I started by listing the materials, that is the ones I've talked about. And okay, the materials, the broken bottles, the pots and the sacks, the ones which have been used. So I got the soil, placed it in the bottles, then hanged. So I'm experimenting it. I want to first experiment it before I display it. So before you display something, you have to, as scientists, you have to first experiment it, and then you know the effects and the challenges you're going to meet. So I'm
Innocent.
Yes, sir.
It's me.
So okay, I have an idea of growing vegetable and fruits in an enclosed place and in okay, not on the ground, but in a raised manner. Thank you very much. And before I leave, I'm sorry to I thank you that, because I'm looking forward to be one of the young African Pan-Africanists. So I thank you that you have included Uganda and Africa as top. And okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Isaac. Let us give him a hand of applause. Yeah, with us, we have been joined by one of our great speakers of the day. That is Dr. Amanyile, the Senior Veterinary Officer, Mbarara District. Let us clap for him. Yeah, I'm going to welcome Rubanga Maurice. I'm going to welcome Rubanga Maurice to come and showcase.
As Maurice is coming, there was a question, I think it heads to Huzaifa, that how are you going to outcompete with inorganic fertilizers? Think about it. Think about it. You'll give the response after.
Our panelists and the audience at large, I greet you all. I'm called Maurice. I'm working on an idea called WaveFarm. WaveFarm is a pharmaceutical company, stroke, an online pharmacy consultation. And this is our story behind. Despite the increased sensitization and awareness about HIV, we find that people living with HIV in our community still face stigma and discrimination. And no one wants to be seen picking their ARVs at maybe TASO, at whatever clinic they are in. And that has resulted in poor adherence to ARV regimens and poor health outcomes. So we developed an idea of a pharmacy which is online and is contactless for those people who don't want to be seen coming to the hospital. And during our user engagement, we realized that actually this is a big problem. People are skipping up their, people are not coming to pick their medicine, they're missing their medicine in the hospital. And also there are things which customers are already doing to show you that the problem really exists. For example, we found out that some of these people living with HIV, they have to pay these doctors or the nurses to actually carry the medication from wherever from the hospital and maybe to their homes. And also during my clinical placement at Mailme Entebbe, is a comprehensive center for HIV management. I observed that people were really coming at midnight. You can imagine. A group big of people, like, come at midnight. They want to pick their medication at midnight. So that set my mind ringing. So I developed this web farm to be a contactless pharmacy, whereby you cannot trace the person who is ordering the medication. It's just like Bitcoin, where you transact, but you can't like really trace where the transaction, like the person, the biodata of the person. So that is the idea behind WaveFarm. But WaveFarm, we have developed it. We have had a comprehensive discussion with my team. It will not be only that. We also realized that the management, that there's increase in the number of people living with chronic condition, asthma, diabetes, hypertension. So where do those people get their medication? And still during our user engagement, we realized there's issue of missed doses, lack of medication. So through our online pharmacy, we plan to bring in all these people. Then also we realized that some of the medication these people take, like aspirin and all that, actually our students from Mascan who are skilled, like our pharmaceutical students, can be able to make this medication. So we want to enter into a collaboration with Mbarara University of Science and Technology to be able to manufacture some of these medication like aspirin, which are required by people living with HIV. Thank you.
And thank you very much, Maurice. I think now we can have Zaifa giving us the answer to the question. It was, how are you going to outcompete with the inorganic fertilizers on market?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Firstly, I would like to comment about the effectiveness. So far, the research conducted, it shows that. So far, the research conducted, it shows that this pesticides and the organic fertilizer is going to be more effective. Another thing is the cost effectiveness. As we know, the materials which are going to be used are local available materials, such as the rabbit urine and other materials, as I have listed them down. So it's very effective and cost effective. So farmers want to invest more maybe in that fertilizer and all pesticides. Another thing is the multifunctionality. This is going to work as a pesticide and at the same time as a fertilizer. So a farmer will go for this pesticide because he knows that he's going to invest once in terms of a pesticide and in terms of fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Saifa. With us, we have been joined by Dr. Abel Alnitwe, a senior lecturer at Mbarara University of Science and Technology. Dr. Yoham, welcome. We are going to welcome Kumara Cosmas as our last speaker for the showcasing. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. As you've heard, my name is Kumarwa Cosmas. My faculty of interest is juice making. We have had so many soft drinks on market, of which those soft drinks, such as soda, are connected to causing obesity, diabetes too, like weight gain, cancer, and so many other things. Some of you have tasted my juice, are aware. This is Juice Hub, Uganda. I've not supplied around Mbarara University, but I've supplied in so many areas just because my market target is not only at Mbarara University. So this juice is going to be organic, straight organic. My friend, some of you know that I always advocate for organic food. Those of you I find taking chapati, and I advise you take beans with dodo. So I'm going to be making juice. It's called Juice Hub. So when I come around you, I'm not so fully established, but I'm going to test. I'm doing the ideation, then prototype testing. So very soon I'll be reaching out to you. When I reached out to you with my jerrycan, please don't hesitate to buy. Because I'm trying to save your life, save obesity from you, give you a better health, but I want to make money. It's the only goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mbarara, for that great idea. And right now, we should give a hand clap to our panelists and the people who have given us these ideas. And right now, let us join our hands together the way we've learned, not so? And we get into the mood for us to welcome the panel. Here we go. We said, no, some guys are not warming up. That's not fair. Let's do this together. Are we ready? Let's go. Stop. And as we welcome these people right here, I want to welcome Edgar Mutungisa. Please, you're most welcome. And we request that you take up the seat. He's our ambassador, the youth ambassador. We have Madam Joan Atkunda. Please, you're also requested to take up your seat.
Yeah, Miss Joan Atkunda is the project coordinator of a certain company. He will explain to us. Then we have Dr. Mbarara. Yeah, he's the emeritus, His Excellency, the good president of MAST. Then we have Aziat Ngaba. Aziat Ngaba.
He will be joining us.
Yeah, she's called Maureen. She has represented Asiat. Yes. So right now we're going to have a panel, and I'm going to request Mr. Sankara take us through the panel. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dear Letitia, and your colleague for the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, once more time, we could just give it a standing applause just before we start. I know we could have already sat enough. Could we just stand up a bit and we start it like that? Okay, so do we have someone who feels like you can actually do some energizer before we start? Someone willing to take us through some energizer? We are young people. Yes, the gentleman at the back, welcome. Yes, God loves you so much, my brother. That's why you're here. Please, energize us.
Good morning. My name is Chivenga Francis, a student at MAST.
Oh, thank you very much, Francis.
Was also taught. Now, but certainly most skills we all agree can actually be learned. I can practice and I gain a skill, and that's what dear Maureen that you have on the corner and dear Joan are exactly doing that. Skilling young people in a number of things, just like we could be able to establish in this panel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a beautiful panel this afternoon. We will spend the next 30 minutes trying to answer the question, what should change? What inspired the question is the fact that while we can all grab the microphone and talk and speak, the first speaker here said we can all speak, but not all of us communicate. But even those that communicate are not practicing 100% of what they actually communicate. And we might all sing around skilling today, but actually what's wrong and what should actually change? At the Innovation Village, and particularly for this day, we are looking at the 21st century skills, because indeed, that's what we should have, and as young people. But ladies and gentlemen,
different products from the meat and also add value to them so that you can give it to a consumer as a convenient food. We also skill them in horticulture, production, and value addition. And here we emphasize on high value crops. And then we also skill them in poultry production and value addition. And then we also skill youth under the internship program from different universities and institutions that offer agricultural courses. That is what we do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very, very great. Kajira farm there, and they are into skilling young people within agribusiness and anything to do with the farm or agriculture. Happy to have you on the panel this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, the next gentleman that we are having on, I could put on some shoes to talk about a few things about him. But my spirit guides me and says, should we have any person in the audience that knows anything about our next panelist before he introduces Do we have anyone in the audience that thinks can say something about the gentleman? Whatever you know about him, please come through. Come through, take on that opportunity and tell us about our next panelists before they introduce themselves. That is what we call the branding. What are you known for? You know, we say actions sometimes speak louder than words. And we have Bobby Wine who says, the world is not looking for people who talk about what they have actually done. Let's hear from him. Yes, please.
All protocol observed. Good afternoon. My name is Arichruza Dennis. I'm Emeritus Deputy Guild Speaker of Mbarara University.
Yes.
2022, 2023. So why I'm standing before you is because I was inspired into leadership by some of these gentlemen, or faces you see here. So the gentleman I've been asked to talk about is the Emeritus Guild President of Mbarara University, His Excellency Muhomza Omar. Happy to see you around. We came in a period when you, I think, had left. That was before Her Excellency Ichul. Gentlemen. That's all I can talk about you now. I don't want to preempt some of your stories, but I hope you have the opportunity to tell us.
Did you pick anything?
What he did, and that is what actually inspired me at my young age in the university to run for politics.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, you have the microphone there. Please talk to us.
Thank you very much, Sankara, for being very modest and seeking some form of kind of like validation for my introduction. I'm Ryan. I prefer to leave it as simple as that. I have been in a number of spaces, leadership, health, climate change, and most people normally ask, how do you get into all these different spaces and what do you do there and what's the nexus, like the bridge in all these things that you do? I'm glad that I have inspired some people in leadership, just straight to go to your question. And for you to be an inspiration in leadership, you must do exceptionally good things in that space, because leadership is quite very complicated, because you'll have people who say you're doing this, probably they have a different way in which they want you to do a certain aspect. But that aside, I am currently working with different fora, but in context, I work with the African Union Center for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC, the largest public health body in Africa and on the continent. I also work with UNICEF. I am working with them on a project to foster HPV vaccination amongst young people. But what I would say is I am working with different young people, especially at the Africa CDC. We are looking especially for people who have innovative skills, because you clearly understand that each one of you has a different talent out there. Yes, I am a doctor. There are quite numerous doctors on the continent, but what stands out for you as a young doctor for you to be taken up by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention? And me, I think this is what should be the take home for young people. We work with a very big network. I think of over 500 young people on the continent, and this reach out to more young people out there, because those I am in direct contact with are about 500 from the different regions in Africa. I want to just make a comment on if any of you who are pitching here pitched that your different ideas and innovations to different populations, do you think they would change their minds and buy your products? If, say, for example, someone is doing shoe polish, and you came and told me, I want you to buy my shoe polish, how would you then convince me that I should abandon Kiwi, a brand that I have grown up see, and then buy your product? Now, that goes back to the question of how were all of you communicating your innovations and ideas to all of us? Did you convince us enough to buy these ideas. And me, this was my take home from the previous, everything that was happening around here.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not want to waste so much time. Probably will dwell much into this conversation later.
Yeah, sure. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker this morning was on live radio, dissecting some national issues here and there. But Edgar Mutungisa is another household name. Do you have someone that wants to say something about them? Letitia, someone is pointing at you. Okay, I prefer, let me see the hands. I want to talk about Edgar Mutungisa. Okay, please come through. 1 minute. Yes, it is what we do that inspires people and lives with them. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Edgar, I came to know him right from college. That was St. Mary's College, Kisubi.
What was his unique name?
Honorable, can I say it? Your nickname. Okay. He was back then he was our choir leader.
What?
He was our club president, Legion of Mary. At Mbarara University, he held various positions. Very charismatic young leader and very innovative and have very diverse critical thinking. Thank you.
Chai, what did you learn anything from him?
Yeah.
What?
What I learned from him is his enduring spirit to always tackle the challenges around the youth. Yeah, he's so passionate working with the youth, and he's also someone who is approachable and helpful.
Wow. Thank you very much. That is something that we, of course, didn't expect. I thought we were going to have stories here at the university. And trust me, had you messed up in the high school, this could be your day of, us finishing you. But yes, let's take on Edgar Mutungisa. What would you mention about yourself and what you're actually doing with the young people? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sankara. I am Edgar Mutungisa. Yes, I would say, and also last time before you called in Umal, I was asking that maybe this conversation should start from us. So I was asking him what more will I add for people like Kumar and have spoken.
Okay.
But yeah, so I do serve currently as the East African Community Youth Ambassador to Uganda.
Yes.
And also Umar is one of those previous ambassadors.
I know. Yes.
And, yes. So I think to be really precise, currently I've been so much engaged in things around peace and security, but also much engaged in things around energy. And so the interaction I recently had was with the university leaders, the good presidents, vice, and good leaders around Uganda on peace and security and how to prevent violent extremism and all that. But also I think currently the most recent one again was on energy democracy, because we've been trying to engage some activists since we need energy transition. And because I was privileged to have studied both petroleum engineering and environmental management, a course that almost bridges the gap. So we're able to find ways on how do we actually have that energy transition without being so overly ambitious that we neglect the role and how the process should necessarily go. That I think many environmental activists were trying to pursue. So I think, I would say I'm so much into that.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, thank you very much. He is a whole engineer that we have in the building, but he's also the East African Youth Ambassador to Uganda, and very, very glad. So this panel here already, you could see very, very interesting individuals. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next one on the panel to introduce herself works in the rural setting with young people that one would say are not as privileged, for instance, to get to the level that many of us are at. I'm talking about in terms of academic kind of excellence, in terms of education, those who find themselves unprivileged, for instance, to get to a university, and our comrades that stay way back in the villages are here in the streets. She has worked a lot in skilling them. Maureen, simanyi tambule mu Uganda oba mu Lunyankole? Okay, kare katambula mu Lunyankole. I will be able to translate for our comrades who, the language, disturbs. So, yes, noija kutweyanjurira, then tutandikiraho.
Amazina ganje nabanyeta Tushimire Maureen. Muza kunsasira nzagamba mu Runyankore ngite mu Uganda haboko boruzungu tandashomere tindukurumanya. Ya ninyo mushomwe wargera ha street ninga so wabera street kid na nabana babiri kandi street kid nabana banje babiri. Ninkora na the Innovation Village Mr. Sankara na Madam Anthea. Nskiringa leather materials, skiringa nkito, bags, wallets, emisipija bashija, bintu byinje bitukuskiringa. Abinja abana bitukuskiringa n'abana ba street kids, abishi abashija bine HIV, ntubakansoringa kandi tubaskiringa tubahereza skill. Abana bato nitubegesa skill kombeka nk'amazu, amamotoka, boxes. Then nitutambura byaro byinji tutambura kuskiringa. Skill yitu turukwiyeho sente tutambura free of charge tukuskiringa door to door turukuyamba Innovation Village kutugorora materials nebindi. Then nyondo kuza kutandika kuskiringa nyine ka background ahina rugere. Ninyo mwana omwe wagire kuzarwa nkashanga ntine bo witu wanzire kuyamazire kunzara yanagaha muhanda nyine cyo cumwe umyambabazi yantorotora yantwara yanyorora kunabire nyine myaka 8 nduhunye ndakubagambira habwa kinka ba street kid kunabire nyine myaka 8 umuriye joka hinabire nkurire abandi kubabere baza kushoma nyine nabenza kuhinga abandi bakiza kushoma nyine nabenza kushenya abandi bakiza kushoma nyine nabenza kutaha amizi so naguma mu life egumire munonga kunabire nyine myaka 8 ecyare serenator ko muri ejoka nkaza street ejoka ekaba inabana babozo konke cyo kutangaza buri mwana kubwabira bukecuro waberahurira yandi umukazi akaba iza harinye akukuza nkoko wakwenda nyine myaka 8 garuzinga vaginte yanje nyine myaka 8 muri ejo family nabere nkuriremo. So echo kintu cyo cyamfosingire kurwa muri ejo family nkaba street kid kandi ndaro mufreje nyowa kurya kaba ngenda nzo mukasasiro ahera hibanaga mbadumwe naturutora inkariya kunabire nyine myaka 12 niho hiziro mushija unabe ntari kumanya harukurga unabe ntari kumanya wabo abwe nakwinabire nyine kuyenza ati ninkunda nkaba nisha kubi munonga namwesibaho yantwaro we yakana panyisa kazugo wahumtaon tiyanyoreka bo wabo tiyanyoreka munyabuzare tine muntu yanyorekere obechi kumukwataho ubwo mshija kambona bonesa munonga namwande bo mu matama nyine nkozo ezo nawe yazintireho mu maraka wena nyine nkozo nawe yazintireho akamantera buri izoba anyime cyo kurya ariko njanti kwato muhanda ngarkeyo ngenda hina rugere konka naho kuzanka abanta hine nkabanyine kumwesibaho yanzara mu mwana wo kubanza yiza yanzara mu mwana wa kabiri ahabwa naku nkabanyine kumwesibaho mpereze cyo kurya konka naho naberengere ndakaba making sure ntera ati anshoza hero ndarahera kasheshe kuyabiraza kurwigura nshanga muhanda life yangu mera munonga kuyarebera namwesibaho ntaru kugenda akacera kasheshe yakoma ebyeye byona yansigera abana babiri omwana omutaka ine myezi 3 yakwata omuhanda yagenda nesha yati kumanya hari yatambura yagenda ejembera yagaruka yanfosinga kuza ha street buri yankaza street niyo muntu omwe hatwahika abantu bangahi twahika abantu 3 ito tukasabiriza aha muhanda wabirarabaho wena twatumushaba tureze cyo kurya tureze cyo kunywa ekintu cyo kunshasha na hati kinkura ninyefuzo magara ganje omwana wanje mukuru kuyaberanje ati mame ninyenda kurya nkaba nkwata enjaga einabe ninywa kikwata njimuhereza kimara kujimuhereza yajinywa agwezegera abo kuba nkaba ntinde cyo kumuhereza kurya twazwara busha twabonabona kunabendi ya street omuntu gumwe hizo mcharo gomu ajataro turu group mpango nubatweta Rugazi Youth Training and Skilling Group nicyo kibine kindi gukora naco turumwa abantu binji munonga twebemberwe Asiat Gamba harimo abana binji munonga ganga mpango ituru gukora nayo okutambura okombyaro kuskiringa so kwizoro go mchara yambuza atimo namushabe cyo kurya nkamujya nti ngabira sirinje bitano ngurura abana banje amizi go kunywa kunaza mushabere yambuza ati konko muti yakwe ya street no basakurugaho najya ntego nimbasakurugaho abo kubembera nkabanjurihire yankwata mukono yantwara konka nawe akabaru kubimunonga ako bakayina kajukati kubwabere bwira twata ekibatu kitekaho bati konka nyonka bani ndeba nakira narga ha street natambura hati nareba natanduka koraro munzu narera ifu yahinduka kai nabana binja barukorebera ariko biha amahanda amazima garugo inkeguzaho aha memory no mushije akaba kutwara akimara kuryamaniwe wasiga bano muka enjara ne baruma akaba kubuza mu nsasiro kwimura akaba kubuza kigamba ati nayo nabajiguza ugaruka yo muka shanga bana no barumwenjara nayeguza nahurura nabiruha ebyo kweguza ubwo mukinga shanga nakora enkito yanyagiso kuba kukora enkito twatandika kutembeya tukatuza makansingi tugarayo za Rugabire tuzitembeya obusenta butwaye hamu tubugura materiyo tukora enkito aha nyina wa office harimo enkito harimo kinza kubaretera ebintu bindi gukora no mubireba ejembera twaguma muri ejembera ndoho ninchwa bugufu ndahace kumaririza embera yaguma mnonga izoba rumwe nizangambera ubwo mushiki abo kuba obusenta buto tuyamuka butakumara itwo koromoreza tukatusiga abantu omukizungu bamara kwara ebye bage banagenyema nibyo twabe tugaruka tukatorotora tukakora moreza reza twizere kugikoramo innovation yamara kutwata aha mukono ekatwihayo ekatuhereza materials ziriyo moreza tukabona kore nkito moreza twaguma mu mberejo omurundo gumwe ekitari nyeba turugahangambiro gwa Siat ubwo wantoro twire mugeranti
Maureen ninja kushaba tugice bugufu abogira ngo nshonga yakirere kale
okay
yes
yeah obwa hati twaskiringira abana tinkumanya na muhendo gwabo ubwo mushija no war kubamanya abana mbarenga omuri 10 abituskiringire ntubahereza skill omuri two mu rubo abamwana bakora binehemermo abasigazi creatingire hemermo twabahereza mermo kutubamara kubaskiringa innovation village yatuhereza materials tubatandikiraho shango ogwaryaha at least life ekahinduka kandi tincheguza nkarokoka
wow
ninye murokore murunje hato kubasa kutumoka twara naremwe na murya minyeto ntukora counseling abana barwire HIV itwe ngo muri abana ba university no mu mwaka tweta aha university ekikuru mwatugurira materials ntuiza ntubaskiringa free of charge
wow
mwe bare mnonga
thank you very much. It's a painful story, but in my literature classes we always said all is well that ends well. And Asiat Gamba, the lady that was supposed to be here, she's the lady that she's talking about. Same story, and later went back to the streets. And one of the children she picked was Maureen, and Maureen's story equally traces back to the streets. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a very good percentage of those young people having the same situation, going through the same, and trust me, there seems to be no designed format of having them off the streets. And why Maureen is here this afternoon is to reassure us that nothing beats a skill in actually transforming a life. We all remember where we grew from. Who played this? Who played this? Exactly. What's this? Eh? Yeah, planned kids are asking. Huh? And kids are asking whether this is some coconut. But this one here was a ball that we played back then. No one went to Nike or those companies, Adidas and the rest. But we used to make these balls, and whoever made this ball was a king at the pitch. Because whether he knew how to play or not, he had space therein. And should you annoy him, he had all the powers to have you out. Okay? So he was the king, basically, of the village and at the pitch. And this is a symbol of the skill. That's why I came through with it. Because today, someone makes an innovation and dictates around it. He knows who to recruit. He knows how he's going to price it. And he plays the game of his own. In fact, some innovations have given birth to policies that have not been existing. My brother, for instance, in your high school, you didn't have any policy around social media, for instance. Until Twitter came on board and Facebook, and we must find a way of having a policy. And that is the dream that we always carried back then in the villages, with the simple skill that we had to make this symbol of us here. So ladies and gentlemen, I know time has already gone, but these people here have only 2 questions to answer, and each one of them will be able to, give a shot to that, and then later we open it up. You could ask anyone at the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be able to, Maureen Noija Kumpaka Zindara Katstand Side Edge. Thank you very much. Maureen over there, now they are at a level of being contracted by international organizations. You said, I'm talking about companies organizations like that, to go and skill young people, mega projects. Innovation Village itself, they have signed a contract this very month, and each month they will be receiving around 10 M to go train at least 500 young people. And that's what it can mean to have a skill. Ladies and gentlemen, we will come back to Joanita. Joanita, you're so welcome once again. It's a youthful audience. You have worked with the youth. I understand the audience that Maureen talked about, but also the audience that we have. The role is simple. In the next 1 minute, if you could help us summarize, paint the picture. What is it like with the skilling? What is it like? Who or which statistics, for instance, if we told you to paint the picture, what is happening out there with? Could you relate skilling with young people in your field today? What is it like? Where are we standing? It is as simple as that.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I can say all the youth need skills to survive in this competitive labor market. We all need the skills that make us stand out as individuals, that organizations, even our customers will come for us. So for us, we at Kajira Skills Development Center, we offer both technical skills and soft skills. And now from the lessons we have learned since we started skilling in 2020,
yes,
we are also going to incorporate in the component of mental health. Because we have realized that these youth that we skill have different backgrounds, and you find because of those backgrounds that traumatize them, even when you equip them with skills, they cannot put them into practice, and they cannot use those skills to earn because of the mental illness. You know, in Uganda or Africa, we underrate it, but it is real.
Okay.
Yeah, then I can also say that skills, we have seen youth earn with skills that they have learned from us, from Kajira Skills Development Center,
Yes.
We have seen some of them start with even the minimum capital of 100,000. And I always tell youth that all you need is the skill, even when you don't have money. If you have skills and you're able to communicate your skills, as the speaker we had said, that learn how to communicate your dreams, you can get someone who has the money and you start business. You gain from your skills. All you need is skills, not money. We have seen some of our youth. We just give them, actually what we do, I can give you a small background, if you allow, of what we do.
Yeah, you could do
We
it.
are supported by AVC Foundation under the SAFE project. Our skilling is fully sponsored. If you're from the 9 districts, that is Kazo, Uganda, Mbarara, Ntungamo, Bushenyi, Rubanda, Isinjiro, and Kabari. You only need to pay 60,000 if you're a female and 100,000 for males for registration with Directorate of Industrial Training, which is a body under Ministry of Education that accredits skills. And then the rest, accommodation, the training itself, and the training materials are all sponsored. So we skill these youth, and then after we give them booster packages to boost their businesses. That is, if you prove to us that your business ideas can give you tangible results and you can earn from your ideas 500 and above. So they are used that we just give an oven grill. They go to the streets and make money.
Okay.
By providing good quality meat barbecue out there, and they are making good money and they are able to earn. There are people we give only meat mincers. They make products of minced meat. You find they are making money out of their skills.
Yeah.
So we all need the skill. Even when we are graduates, we need a skill.
We need the skill.
The skill, yeah.
Sorry
That is
to
what
cut
I
you
can
short.
also say.
But in the rest of time, she keeps talking about the need for the skill. And particularly on the opportunity that she talked about, should you want to go to Kajira Farm for the opportunity that she mentioned, the Innovation Village is willing to cater for 40 youths. The costs that you heard her talk about, 60 for female and 100 for male,
Males, yeah.
Innovation Village is willing to meet that cost. You go there, study like she put it, come out with your startup kit, and also, I remember, you also make sure before they leave, they have registered businesses. Okay.
Actually, we also, that is a package for skilling agripreneurs, and then we have a package for business incubation.
Oh, okay.
In business incubation, after you have done the skilling, let's say in meat processing or horticulture and poultry, we support you. We have experts who are good at business incubation. They support you with business ideation, and then business registration, and then also product prototype development, and then we support you take your products to the market. You do the testing of the products, and then after that, we also support you with product certification by UNBS, so that you're able to go and sell your products out there. So far, we have incubated 30 youth. That is from...
Could we conclude on that in the interest of time?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
That is in a period of 6 months, we have incubated 30 youth, and we need more 20 this year. And then also, we support you to first do the input of your products. We are the ones that buy you the raw materials to do prototype development. And we also have a savings scheme whereby when you take your products to the market, you keep with us some money, so that by the end of the incubation period, we are able to give you back that money and to go and use it in your business as you go out.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. That is quite insightful when it comes to scaling, at least within agribusiness. Let's move to Dr. Doctor, yours is an easy one. Can we please summarize it in 1 minute? Yes. We are talking about you painting the picture at the global stage. Most or quite often, I've seen you on the plane, almost every other status update you're putting up, an indication that you've moved across countries globally. What would you paint the picture as if you're to compare the Sankaras seated in here and the young people you've met out there in different countries? Could you paint the picture in regards to skilling or skills, how we perhaps rate ourselves in, where are we, something like that? Yes.
Thank you very much. Yes, I have had the opportunity to move around the world, probably different continents. But the biggest challenge we have is it's not skilling itself. Yes, we are a progressive society.
Yes.
In terms of growth, we are trying to grow. I think this is the first time I have seen a center around the whole of Western region that kind of promotes innovation. That is a step moving forward, but we are not yet there. And this is why. The first challenge that young people face around here is that they do not want to demand for the stage. They do not want to be heard.
Okay.
You see, young people do not want to innovate here. And you'll find very young children and they have small innovations. They're thinking outside the box. And that is one. That's the difference between the young people here and the young people out there. Secondly, young people here do not want to develop personal brands.
Personal brands.
And what do I mean by a personal brand? What do we know you for? I know all of you here are studying agriculture, you're studying IT, you're studying medicine, you're studying pharmacy. But what do we know you for? What have you done differently in your academia? Now, if I am looking for Sankara and I go on your pages, Sankara Byaruhanga, what are you doing different to impact your fellows, your peers, or other people out there? Account where you're dancing day in, day out. I am not against it because you must have fun in one way or the other. But if I am looking for you, what is your personal brand? And that is why young people out there are different from us. You see, recently I met a young, when she told me, no, you see, you can go on my page and learn more about myself. Because we don't have so much time here in conferences. So what she told me, she was like, no, you can go. And then I was surprised. How do you do so much at 16 years? Now, if you ask a Ugandan of an equivalent age, my guy, the only thing we have on our Twitter pages is banter. Who is, at least I have met Edgar. When I first met Edgar, he was this prospective person who wanted to learn more and more, and he was asking me, how do I join the spaces of becoming an ambassador for the East African community? How am I doing this? So I said, no, you see, you need to groom and learn from people.
Yes.
So I felt like I needed to groom him in one way or the other, if you accept, sir, to say that I have groomed you in one way or the other. And this is how he takes on these spaces. And now he's taking on more spaces than I do, and I am very proud of that. But what is the Ugandan mentality here? People do not want to strive to be better than themselves.
Okay.
We want to strive to be better than someone. That's not how things work, guys. You see, what are you doing different? If today I am trying to develop a small app, what am I doing better? What partnerships do I have? I was talking to a certain young man here, those who are doing IT, and I am telling them, because I am IT illiterate in one way or the other, but I was thinking outside the box. I am saying we have challenges with health and people cannot access hospitals, emergency services. Can we kind of develop an app where people can easily log on and find a doctor, find something of that sort? And I was kind of trying to develop partnerships and a small team. Young people here, they don't do that. Out there, that's the norm. Different people, you're best in IT, you're good here, come, form a team. What are you doing for us? And with those small innovations, they get employment, they get funds, they get, everyone comes onto the team, and you find them getting funding. And that's the problem that we have. Number 4 is the question of exposure. We don't have exposure, Sankara. Because that is why I'm saying we do not have exposure. I was looking at how people were pitching their products here.
Yeah.
And someone is telling us, okay, tell us, if you want me to come and buy your aftershave, Tell me, why is your aftershave better than all these aftershaves I have been using? Tell me, okay, we found this, it is organic, it is natural, has nothing, this. Convince me, be like these people who steal your money. How do they call them? There are these boys who steal people's money and they are scheming brands. But once they invite you there and you listen to them and they tell you how a young man has got a Range Rover, you'll be like, global, yes. So now, if you cannot pitch to me your product, if you cannot communicate to me, I lose interest. Because if you're telling me, guys, we have this, this is this, and then you're not telling me there is a problem behind, then it means it's a question of exposure. People have not seen how other peers are pitching out there.
Yes, sure.
And this is it's the biggest problem. I have seen over 10 people here, and it means they cannot take time to go on a YouTube channel and say, how do they pitch? Because I wanted to pick interest. Tell me I am doing this, and I'm like, oh, wow, it's quite nice. And then I'll pick interest, and I'll be like, okay, your potential partner could be here. And if they hear from you, I'll be like, okay, now I need to buy this product. But how are we scoring? Okay, if you pitch the same thing you are pitching to yourself, if I came and said the same things you are saying them, would you buy your own product?
Mm-hmm.
You tell me, all of you who are here, if someone came and said the same way you are saying your things, would they buy your product? And now it drives me to the last point, capacity building. Now, Sankara, you have a hard task ahead.
Sure.
Capacity building. And this is progressive. It doesn't happen overnight. And if we do not build the capacity for young people here, we'll never develop ourselves. And capacity building starts with, number one, teach them the skill. Teach them how to use the skill. Teach them to communicate the skill. Teach them to share the skill. Okay? If you're telling people you want them to innovate, tell them this is how we innovate. Okay, now they have come up with the idea. Once they've come up with the idea, now teach them, okay, this is how we share the idea among us, a multi-sectorial approach. How do we deal with different teams? After you have done that, now tell them, okay, now this is how you communicate this idea to people out there to have buy-in into your idea. And after you have done that, then now teach them how to use the idea to make money. Because now, if you have the idea and the idea is not polished, your idea will not make you money. Or you will find someone who will polish the idea for you and steal the idea. You're trying to get me. If I am talking about something, say for example, shoe polish, basic thing, or toothpaste. Okay, now I have learned how to make the toothpaste. Now tell me that the toothpaste you're making is better than the Sensodyne that I have left at home. Okay? So guys, I hope we get the picture. I'm painting the picture between how we are different from the young people out there. Let me stop here in the interest of time.
Thank you. Thank you very much for painting that crystal clear picture. And he keeps asking, would you? But the power of communication, I would say, for instance, if they asked me, why do you think Umal has made it where he is? I would comfortably put it that that guy can communicate. And I have seen, him do that. I was in the guild cabinet before he did. But the way he kept, communicating, challenging also even us who were in the office, and then later taking on the race of the guild presidency to win that election. But also, if we asked some achievements, yesterday someone saw him on the panel and said, that guy welcomed us when we were freshers like no other person again. And it has been like that. But I have watched him a number of occasions. The power of communication, organized communication, this is what we are talking about, and that's what he called that a topic, he will give it time, and when he's addressing it, give it some good insights there. Someone says, if you can't communicate it, you don't know it, and it doesn't exist. Thank you very much. Let's hear out from Comrade Edgar Mutunjisa. Yours, again, is a simple one. A fresh engineer, we know engineers, of course, as practical kind of individuals. If you're talking about skills, you're the guys that, again, have to put skills into practice. we have the audacity to ask whether it is important to have an engineer in Edgar when we cannot fix this bulb here. That has always, been a question. Let's talk to our fellow academicians here, or students that are trying to, get to the space that you're into now. Is there anything that you have done special, or is there anything I need to get worried about as Sankara, apart from me doing my agriculture course, graduate and move out? Could there be something else that I need to get worried about as a young man pursuing my course at the university? Please, 2 minutes.
Yes,
I trust you on that.
I'll not use 2 minutes, I was like 3. But
okay.
Yes. So yeah, I think that's a very good question. But one, again, it's also connected to an exposure and how people do it differently there.
Yes.
So I think skills are very important. As an engineering student, you have to really have the skills. But I also think it also goes into, I think you are more like a product of what you have been before. So like your summation of the little things you have done. And so, but also to have the capacity to master the art of communication beyond your engineering skills.
Okay.
I can tell you quite confidently, for instance, I think in my experience, I've once some interview where people there had more skills than me in technology and everything.
Yes.
So I was at the panel, for instance, when we were meeting at Total Energies. So they were asking what things I've done before and etc. And so there were people really there who know so much tech, so much software. I don't even think I know much. But I've done a project at the university around artificial intelligence and how it's used in drilling design and all that. I'd also done some project on making roofing tiles from plastics, but also from low density, those polythene bags. So I did explain it, I think in a way which I really feel that did convince these people that perhaps I would do something. But I don't think technically I was better than people that I met there. So I think, again, it's very important that you have all these two things in position. But maybe the other thing I would say on the product on you being the summation of what you've done before and previously is also on that panel, for instance, which I made. And remember, this is in line with employment, because at the end of the day, you need money, you need sometimes a job. So was that I met one person whom I met in my vacation, part of the panel, and was able to remember me. Because that time when I met him, I was telling him, you know what, I want to volunteer in this particular space because I want to learn ABC. And he was telling me, but there's no money, there's no budget for you. I said, I don't care. I just want to first get this thing because I want to learn it. When he met him on the panel, I think he's almost the only person who interviewed me. And the next thing I was asking me was, do you have any questions for us? And so there was that bias. So it was both the product, but also the mindset that you're able to learn the skill and be able to have that sort of a thing so that it can make you attractive in spaces. So yeah, so I think it's a combination of how you brand, but also...
The engineer there, he talks positioning yourself, he talks please. You could actually leave a low profile, but what matters is the results that you could be able to attract. It's not about the title and the likes. Quite important. Maureen twagaruka nyenzire ngo kozese akadachika kamwe. Of course buri watugambeho munonga ha story yawe konka nyenzire ngo abo kuba boriyo no gamba nabo abinjo muri bo nabeji ha university abo turi kuteka ngo baza kuba no bashohora omukire katari kahare nabeja ko abashitamira mu offices gatari gamwe na gamwe nyenzire ngo nkiwe omuntu watambwire aha street okakwata abari aha street bari abo turi kuteka ngo bundi tibarayo yonjire yo kuzahare umbyo kushoma wabegesa ebintu bimwe byo gukora nyenzire ngo summarize injire one ebyo uri kubegesa omukire kache kagufu munonga. 2 yaba ebyo begise no basa kubahero bahame omisho g'abantu kugira ngo indeed hine ekibihinduireho hine abantu bamwe boro kubasa kwihayo okatugira oti okay nanga nkamushangari ati koga kandi hati bineduka handi bagira bati ombintu nkebyo then kora hezo noija kutuhendera abo kuba ka session akaza kugarukaho nako kuhendera abunshonga yakire nojagumiza munohendera azo mukuhendera kwawe nyenzero gambe na naba bantu nko kunagamba emyaka etari yahare nibo bari mu offices bashitamiremu na hata bamwe bagiremu iwe noteekateka ngu abantu abashomere akaka wakarebaka abashomere ni kintu ki ekibataka kozire okurebeka ngu ejemyoga yitwa ntugamba nabari abo turiyo ntugamba ba street really tubakaganyuirwemu omukushoma kwaba mpaha ningashi ejeminyeto yeshomere iyo ekakora ki okurebeka ngu bariya nabo bagire kibihayo una no bijuka ebyo kubegesa success stories ningashi korabe hine ecyahindukira hamagara gabo then ecyakashatu ogambere abashomere ekibakire ku bana bahinduramu webare
munonga abana aba street ningasi ahitukuskiringa omu field ntubegesa okukora nkito crafts tubegesa okukora bags tubegesa okukora wallets omu leather material tubegesa okukora emisipi gy'abashiija ebintu byingi abaana bingi bakozere by'ebintu amagara gabo gahinduka ningasi life yabo yahinduka abana bamwe bakaba ba maraya tubakiza ha street kwetunda hata nabakozesa emikono yabo tubakiza yo kwetunda kuronda ekyo kurya abana bojo bakaba ari abashuma for example Yasin twamusanga ine myaka mukaga kari akashuma ko mu Kisenyi twakihayo twakorra hata no mushija mukuru Yasin ari no mfield ariyo na skillinga abasize kozesa emikono ye aha myaka 17 yayine yayebisaho yagire ki yayekorraho abana bari successful abitwegise bona bagize ki bayekorraho tubakikozesa mbere yabo kubona ekyo kurya tubakiba kugira tubabone ekyo kurya then ahari imwe abashomere nubwo kubona office konko ine skill eshayo nani bihinduka ahabo kuba abitukushomesa for example nka last month ahakara abantu ba Red Cross bona bashomere bari mu offices marungi konka bakaba bari ahantu bahereza skill ahabwaki eje skill naiza kumuyamba nyinja kandi noiza kushanga yakura atakiza mu office ninga si yakura atakibasa gukora government konka kuyakuba ine cyabira yikoriraho ine cyakumanya eje kintu kibasa kumuyamba aha kuba skill nabagisharingire nabandi.
Wow. Thank you very much. Some hand clap for Maureen. Thank you, Maureen. And she sounds the beats of you must have that skill, whether you're what or what. Anything can always change. And trust me, the message is, clear. Apparently, in the offices, among the corporates, we have what we call or what we term as side hustle. And side hustles we've seen success stories where side hustles actually grow into billion-rated companies. And usually it starts with the skill because I'm skilled in that and I like it. Yes, I have this employment that I'm working on, but 2-3 years down, someone is actually realizing that if I put this at a certain level, I would be able to get somewhere. Now, Maureen at her level attracts a 10 million monthly deal from Innovation Village at her level. What would it be for a Sankara that has gone to a university and does the same effort within the crafts world? And don't you think that would be a little bit beyond that? We are talking about mobile apps. We're talking about all these, but she says on top of the knowledge or the skills that we're getting from the academic world, you might want to grab that skill. And Webere Mnonga Maureen. Yes, thank you. So we will be able to use the next 3 minutes, and I'm sure 3 minutes because we're only using 1 minute each, to conclude, but also answer the question of the day. Remember, our question was, what should change? So please, you could conclude and answer the question. In case you feel there is something that must change, summarize it in 1 minute, and we will be able to open it up for you guys. In case you want to ask any of these guys, ask the question. I know we are time bad. We could be able to get into closing the panel. Yes, Edgar.
One, I think what should change definitely is market. I think every skill and innovation is useless where there is no market.
Okay.
And I think the market should start with us. It doesn't make sense when Sankara continues to make these many nice leather shoes, or Marine here, but then I will still go and buy Italian ones. So you will skill people and they will make things and things just be stranded here. Yes. What that means, therefore, is also that you need knowledge. Knowledge also is very important. Now we have the East African community. There's so much market out there beyond Uganda. So it's very important as you develop these skills, you think beyond borders. You think beyond Mbarara and Kampala and etc. You get to expand your market access and your vision thereof. Think of how you take your things to Rwanda, think of how you take your things to Kenya, and all that. It's very important. And I think lastly, as I conclude, I'd already mentioned partnerships are very important. And I remember the last speaker you found was talking about it. If all of us want to have titles of CEO, MD, and etc., we'll have thousands where everyone is an MD of something, but there's nothing you're doing. It's very important that we come together and we push things that have scale, things that have impact of scale, as opposed to just this title syndrome. It's very sad.
Okay. Wow. Thank you very much. Now, as Comrade Dr. Umal is coming through, we are privileged that there's an online audience, people who are watching us live. Thank you, Creative Digital Media, to make that happen. I would pick, I stopped you because there's someone who wanted to hear out some fun from you. But first, Anthea Ankunda, who is our regional manager here, didn't make it here, but she's following live, and she was talking to Maureen and says, your whole group are actually proud of you. Anthea Adona Kureba live and says, ebyokora byona, of course, nanabo abuwachireho bona nabashemerwa abo kugira ngo nokora ekyo ryo nokora. This is Ariaja Rodney. Dr. Muhumuza, this was for you. The gentleman, I think, was teasing you, but is saying, have you played that local ball made during, did you play it during your age? Can you show us some skills? Yes, particularly that, and says, tell us what you actually learned from the experience. He's still talking about the ball experience. I think this question came in earlier. That was around 30 minutes ago. So please, please, can you show us? Is Rodin here or it is someone outside? Ah, okay, it is someone watching on YouTube. Okay, yes.
Yeah, I actually played that ball. It caused me a lot of trouble at home, especially when I would come with torn uniforms, very dirty to the dot. I did actually play it. And I was through all these humble backgrounds, so I leave alone this guy you see now.
Yes.
Yeah. Probably my take home today is...
Doctor, Lugezigezi is not,
doesn't
have a place here.
You want me to play that ball?
Please, someone asked, you need to showcase the skill. Prove to them that you actually played this game here. I think he wants to cut out that clip.
Looks very light, by the way. You see? Experience is there.
Okay, fine. Trust me, our President, General Kaguta Museveni, would beat you on that. Please, let's conclude. That's for another day. Yes.
Yes. So really my take home today is, guys, we need to have changes in our attitudes towards everything that we do. For every work that I do, I give it my all. So I prefer if each of us did something wholeheartedly, be it your course, be it whatever something you do, just give it your all. So we'll change our attitudes towards how we keep time. We'll change our attitudes towards how we present ourselves. We'll change our attitudes towards how we do whatever work that we do. And if we do that, we'll build our capacity, we'll equip ourselves with knowledge, with skills, and all these other things. And guys, this is progressive. It doesn't come overnight. And this is what I'll continue to tell each one of us. If you want to have a very good farm, probably I should tell these guys the first experience in chicken farming. So one of the days I decided to do chicken farming because my mom has a small chicken farm and she does it at large scale. So I said I'll borrow her knowledge and decided to rear a chicken. Guys, they grew second month And then I don't know what disease did they tell me it was. Was it coccidiosis or something? And all of them died. And the reason is I did not give it time and I wanted. Probably it will get better with time. So I did not give it my all. Subsequently, this was my lesson and I learned the hard way. So each one of us here can actually, if we change our attitudes towards whatever thing we do, then we'll be better people, young people out there. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Umal over there. Youths with fun, Keisha there asking what I am holding. I earlier talked about this. This is a ball that we always all have to make by ourselves, and it symbolizes the creations that we made. The story around it is the rules that used to be around it, that if Sankara made this ball, he dictates the rules of the game. And that is it that used to happen, but that is it that happens also today. That if I make Twitter, for instance, we all know what Elon Musk is doing to us. He sets the rules of the game. He can have you out, he can have you in, you can either pay or not. That is the freedom that comes with you creating something, and that's what it symbolizes. Let's end it with Joan. What should actually change?
Thank you very much. Actually, before I talk about what should actually change, and to tell all the youth, please breathe, take a breathe. Because some of you find someone has started their businesses or they have these ideas that they have started an organization, but they want or be at a level of a person who has built their idea 50 years back. Let us believe in processes. And what should change, it should be our mindset.
Okay.
The experience I have, we need to change our mindset. We need to accept change and also be able to learn and also be able to be resilient. You know, we are here talking about it all, but we never share difficulties. All those people that have success stories, they will always bring out the good part. But as we are taking this journey of business and entrepreneurship, there are challenges. And we must learn how to adapt to them and also be resilient if such challenges come in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
1 minute.
Okay.
There is someone who says they have an idea of making juice.
Mm-hmm.
We have a program for baristas, and juice making is one of them. It's one of the components of baristas. You can come and learn, and then we also support, do business. We incubate your business idea so that you're able to pack fresh juices as you. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much, Joan. And to pick from her, she says, anything that you must change, nothing else but your mindset. I have lived to believe that we can only change mindset with live examples. What Maureen is doing, totally, that's the best way to change mindset of those street children at the street. Because, I mean, they have their own. He says Yasin was here and he now owns a shop. There, please go and buy the shoe. And the street child is looking at that, and that's what she's trying to bring to us. Can we become the examples within these communities? And definitely the mindset will be worked on. Let me receive only 4 questions from the audience. Please, we're not going to give speeches, right? Direct the question to your panel of interest, and it should be a question indeed. So we are picking the 4. There's a gentleman that raised their hand first, second, third. Can we have ladies asking? One more chance, and it is open to ladies. Hello, madam. No, you're not. You're not. I've seen you, you're not. Okay, one more opportunity to a lady who wants to ask. Lady Omurundegumwe, okay. Hey, I was going to count. So we have the lady that is going to ask the questions, and may we have the privilege to hear out the question from her. Yes, please, go ahead. Yeah. Later, okay. Fine, let's do chap chap. That gentleman is ready.
Yes, the speakers, thank you for presenting to us. Now, Maureen, opposed to Wita no Fera. Members, na shasha mnonga, kinkorom au sioni turmweji, tarmu empumi, tarmu mnyamagoya, tarmu umutata kutambara. Ninteka next meeting or any organization, we should bring those people. Thank you very much.
Okay, wow, thank you. Very loud and clear, and it is noted. Very, very important to note over there.
Thank you so much once again for those wonderful ideas. Once again, my name is Dennis, and I have a question to, I think, all the panelists. When it comes to skilling, we have seen some projects or people starting up these programs to skill the youth and maybe other people. But my worry has always been I don't know whether it's mindset, but some of the things are done to please the audience, or maybe they're just ceremonial events. What am I talking about? Someone comes here and they're telling you, we have this project, we're going to do ABCD, but when the project is terminated, you don't see the fruits. I mean, you're going to have this funding, you come and train us, but it ends at the training. I loved what the panelist on the far left said, that they go ahead to give you maybe capital and some support.
Yes.
I don't know if that can be done maybe by any other project implementers or any other stakeholders that could save us, other than having the theory skills, because we attended and we're going to have lunch, and it ends here. Thank you so much.
Wow. That question is loud and clear. If we're able to track, I think that you should be able to answer what could actually be able to be changed to make sure these programs, at the end of the day, we have results from that. Yes?
Thank you. Thanks to everyone. I'm called Nasser Isaac. Everyone who stood up there, among the panelists, they've been talking about collaboration. And nowadays, we have a challenge of negativity amongst our friends. And you've said, and there's a saying which says, two can never work together unless they agree. So if I develop a skill, and I come and tell my friend that I have, an idea, and I tell my friend that I have an idea, can we move around it and we see how we can bring it out and to showcase it? So we have that problem that a friend will not allow me, or will say, you will not manage it. So how are you guys, before you started, how did you try to manage that challenge of negativity amongst your friends? Thank you.
Please refer that to one of these.
Most of them have been talking about collaborating with others.
We want only one person to answer the question.
Actually, the most, that gentleman.
Who?
I'm sorry, I didn't get his name clear, but Mr. Mbarara.
Okay, wow, thank you. Doctor, that is going to be going for you. As we get someone to ask, there are people again following us live. Umal K says, hello, thanks for this wonderful initiative. I love the way Dr. Muhumuza and Dr. Mutungisa, Mr. Mutungisa, I think, have concluded, engineer in fact. It's actually going beyond the available markets and change of attitude. This one is saying, okay, whatever you guys put across could be the game changer. Jim Beinomujisha, thank you so much for today. Teach the world the skill and the world, the rest is totally an English problem, either on his side or on my side. Umal K again says, just a small concern, shall we have this video here on YouTube for future reference? It's okay, this video remains up here forever and ever. Even those that didn't come through, you just have to share the link and they will be able to follow. Yeah, the question, okay?
Thank you so much. My question goes to Edgar Mtunsa.
Yes.
And It is how has being the East African Youth Ambassador helped you to rethink your skills and talent as required by your job? You get it? Thank you.
Okay, wow. Thank you very much. Do you have another? Okay, one more time.
Thank you very much. Now, this time around, I'll ask the questions that I think people have feared to ask. Now, you talked about skill, where you showed us that ball. I think this will go to Dr. Ryan. With these rapid technological advancements that we are having right now, whereby a hardworking person is being outcompeted by someone just who has a simple skill of IT. For example, look at this kid who is trying to study literature, maybe wants to be a poet. And me, who is here at campus, who has the idea of ChatGPT, where I can sit, recite a poem, and go to public and get access. Which specific skill I need to drive my skills? Which skills do I need? Okay, what are the principles for me to polish what I already have in my location or in my position to compete in the world? And this one will go to Madam Ryan. Some of the, Madam Joanne. Sorry for that. Agriculture students, some of them are asking about the internship, the street kids. Okay, you talked about this issue of 60,000 and 100,000 for gents. If a student is here and by chance maybe happens to get 60,000 and he's male, can he be given that opportunity to come for the skilling? To Mr. Edigar, you've been talking about this learning from mentorship. How could we create this collaborative ecosystem among us, the youths, despite the motivations that are going around, where today's motivation is about personal growth, whereby it is personal motivation, people using pain, people having distrust. For example, most youths, you say if you share your idea with any person, they are going to steal it. But yet that we've learned that it is through partnership that we can build these things more and more. And we're having comparison as a key basis of success, whereby if I'm to do something different, I first compare myself. As leaders, how are we breaking this serious case? Thank you very much.
Okay, wow. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. We will be able to hear out from...
Thank you very much.
Okay.
About skilling and equality, actually for skilling, I told you we have three types of skilling. Youth, we skill youth under internship program. If you're a student and you want to do internship, we welcome you. And then we also skill youth in agripreneurship. And our minimum qualification is senior 4 and above. That means that whether you have a master's degree or PhD, and you're willing to come and you have the 100,000 or 60,000 and you're aged between 18 and 30, you're welcome. Have I answered your question or there's something else, Miss?
So if I got his question right, was it is 60 for ladies and 100 for gentlemen, and he was asking if I am a gentleman, but I have 60,000. Will you allow me in?
You see, we are trying to be, because remember, actually when that program is not sponsored, someone talked about sustainability. This organization found us skilling. You are supposed to pay 100,000. So in some investment, at least you get 100,000. You should be able to get it.
Okay. If I remember very well, what's the period? August or September?
We are beginning on 10th August and ending on 10th October with examination. Thank you.
Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is to re-echo the opportunity that the Innovation Village has. In case any of us, the agriculture students, are planning to go to Kajira, I've been there before. It's an experience you don't want to miss. There is a lot of facilities that you would wish to interact with on the farm. And they have that element of agribusiness within them. but also the startup kit that she talked about. Now the Innovation Village, like I said, is willing, if you're here, is willing to sponsor you, whether you're a lady, whether you're a gentleman, full fees. Like you really don't have to pay anything for this opportunity. You'll go there, everything else is there, accommodation, food, and whatever. So the money she's talking about, for you who is here, you have the opportunity. As long as you're willing, come through, register, and we will be able to help you apply, and it will all be catered for, courtesy of the Innovation Village. The last one would be, in case for some people who are watching outside, the offer is for people in here, but also if you're out there and you're able to comment on this chat with your names, you will be able to also, and your contacts will be able to reach out to you, and you have the opportunity. But also, if you know people out there, your colleagues that might want to take on the opportunity, that is assured. We will be able to, as long as you bring them in before the deadline of the registration, you'll be able to grab that opportunity. That, I think, is done and dusted. Doctor, you had some questions. Let's answer them chap.
Yes, I had two questions. The first was from a gentleman. Sorry, I did not pick your name. He was asking, how do we address the question of negativity? Okay? You see, when I was making my remarks, I first said, each one of us has to strive to be better than themselves. Okay? You are in no competition, guys. You see, it's so ancient for us to say, I am competing with Edgar to take on something. It doesn't help you in any way. But how do you address negativity? Number one, you have to acknowledge the fact that all of us have different skills and talents, okay? Now, if you appreciate that in your life, that each one of us is differently abled and differently talented, you address the question of negativity. This and that. A piece, I am like, okay, I have inspired someone to take on a particular space. And I have done this oftentimes. I'd be like, okay, I'll read through your article, read through your application, read through your motivation letter, and help you polish. Because in one way, once you get to that space and you find an opportunity, you come back to me and be like, okay, I think you can fill in here. And we end up synergizing and working together. But also, we need mentorship, okay? Never work alone, because since I talked about the question of ideas, you remember Comfort. Comfort has an idea, Buri Care, Kanga Care. Now, if Comfort did not come through and meet with engineers, she would not have added the component of... Now, there's this lady who has an idea where she has pitched on international level. She has an idea where, they are premature children. Eh? So they are born when they are not of age. So what they do, her idea is to have... It's like, you know how a kangaroo keeps its child? So there are those jackets where you can keep your child and they are skin to skin with the father or what. Now, if she had not gone or synergized with an engineer or someone who has knowledge, she would not have added a component of a thermometer to her idea. You get what I am saying? Now, she has a sensor that also senses temperature. Now, every time she pitches this idea to people, it makes more sense just from just being this bag. But now there are these other biometrics within this whole thing. You get what I am saying? How teamwork is important. And she does not benefit from the idea alone, because once funding comes, it does not come for you alone. It comes for the whole team. So we work as a team. Eh? So you guys should embrace teamwork, embrace working together if you want to have innovations out there. Because I would have knowledge of the idea, but I do not have knowledge of putting it out there on a website or where, and I will need IT people, right? Or I have this agricultural idea, but I am not an expert in marketing and advertising, meaning I'll need someone who does marketing on my team, okay? Maybe I'm not a very good communicator, so I'll need someone to pitch this idea for me, okay? So we need that. Then the last question was from the gentleman, the MC. He asked me, how do I polish my skills? And he gave a question of, I have my skill, but then I can it was about polishing your skill, if I try to summarize it. Number one, if you know you have a challenge with, say for example, programming or something, kindly take the initiative to sit down and learn something about it, okay? Over time, I have learned, when Edgar was he's now in the East African community, I am like in a backseat too, I drive things forward. I used to do things in peace and security. I am not an expert in peace and security, but if you would find me giving a presentation in peace and security, it is because I gave it some time and learned from people who are out there on how to polish the skills. So make sure you sit back. And these days, there are very many resources on your smartphones, YouTube, what. Just go and see how people are doing it. Me, if I do not know how to do something, I'll come and ask. Recently, I was here with Sankara. I want to do something with online things, and I had little knowledge. So I had to ask him, kindly help me form a team of people who can do this for me. I even came here and asked, okay, guys, who can do this for me? And now I have a team, and we are working out some things. So it is, if you do not know something, learn from others, and also try to go an extra mile to learn that something. That is how you polish your skill. And again, it doesn't come overnight. Lastly, how to polish your skill. I had written something here. Leverage on your social capital to better yourself, okay? Don't get these friends for nothing. Now, if they are I have my friends who used to do agriculture. I wanted to start rabbits. I had to call someone who is in agriculture to tell me how do they do these things. Okay? So leverage on your social capital to develop your skill. Now, with time, I keep learning every day. I'm a lifelong student, so I am now learning how to do other things out there. I hope I answer you as well. I hope I have answered you as well. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Don't worry, guys. Some questions could actually be answered in the keynote addresses that we still have to hear out after lunch. Don't get annoyed. So we will be able to hear out from two more. Actually, it was only Edgar that was asked, I think, the last question. I'm told we have someone who wants to ask a question. Who is it? Please. Let's ask so that if the gentleman is to answer, for instance, if he's the one anyway, we are going to ask, we have to wrap it up. Otherwise, guys, don't tire yet. We are only like 5 minutes away from lunch, and trust me, that is the promise I can give you. Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Mine is to the two gentlemen, Dr. Umar and Engineer Edgar. We've seen that two of them do incredible work at ESC and a lot of work elsewhere. And there are very many people inside the room that always have ideas that die in the dark. And they do not get the opportunity to actually put them to work. My question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, where do you rate luck? Where does luck come in? And also, what do you think? Because we can get the skills, yes, but then I feel like the problem usually comes with getting to the platform where you're going to express your idea, getting the right place where you're going to pitch the idea so that it gets the funding and so that it gets implemented. Thank you.
Okay.
Says I should start. Okay, in luck, yes, scale of 1 to 10, luck at 2. Now, why at 2? Number one, you would be lucky that the space you have shared has people who buy into your idea. And that rarely happens because by the time you occupy the space, then probably you guys have shared values, ethos, and all these other things, okay? Now, normally, you see, luck only finds one who has moved a particular distance in their journey. If she has been doing things to do with skilling people and the rest, the chance that she will find a fellow person doing similar work who has an opportunity for her is going to be very high, okay? Now, if you're doing nothing, it is highly unlikely that you will have luck on your side, okay? Now, if I am doing something, the chance that I will meet someone who taps into my potential or who I share a space with becomes high. Then people say, oh, he's lucky. But it's not really luck as such. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. We've had it on several occasions, luck being defined as preparedness meets opportunity. You first start once, you're prepared, and then opportunity finds you, and that's what we define as luck. It just doesn't really come just like that. At least quite often. Yes. Edgar, there.
Okay.
You stand between us and lunch.
All right. What time is lunch? Okay. So I'm going to answer some few questions. The first one was on how ESC, being ESC with a method, has helped me to rethink my skills and in employment in general. I think personally, the idea is that I think being part of ESC is I've had to broaden my perspective beyond my country. So I'm able to understand that if I have any sort of innovation, or any sort of skill, or anything I feel I'm good at, I ought not to compare myself from the environment of Uganda. I need to think broad on whether this one thing I know I'm sure about would still work in Tanzania, would still work in Rwanda, would still work in Kenya. And even now, would still work in the entire Africa, because we now have African Free Continental Free Trade Area that is coming, where markets in Africa and people in Africa should trade together. So I think that level of open up has really impacted me so much. And so even how I pitch about my skills, even the opportunities I apply for, most of them are not just Ugandan. And also I think that also answers the question of also somehow partly your question. Because it's not like these things just find us sometimes. We also apply for some things. But the difference is that you'll find someone, the only thing he wants to apply for, I will just look at Innovation Village in Mbarara, because he's invested in Mbarara, and he knows tomorrow I can easily walk there, right? That's where you will end, you keep there. But then also there's someone who says, there's this nice conference in Kampala, it's in light of this, and he goes for it. So the difference is that me, I will not just think about Kampala. I think about Kenya, I think about Rwanda, I think about Europe, and all that. So there's a way even how you strategize and how you develop your skills, you're sure the standard is that notch. And it's the same thing I was saying about this whole integration idea, that if countries come together, whether it's a good idea, and currently, like it's African community, we have something called the Mutual Recognition Agreement, which was signed in 2012. The idea of that agreement was that you can have professionals move across borders, that an engineer in Uganda can easily go and become an engineer in Tanzania without further studies or without further sort of documentation stuff. As long as you are from a university which is recognized, you can easily work in Kenya, easily work in Tanzania. And I was saying this argument, even up to now, I hold on it, that whereas it's very good to broaden the market and have all this space, in most cases, if your skills are not that standard, then it becomes a problem. Because you no longer just, harnessing from your own level, local level, you have to also think internationally. So I think that's the perspective. So that even the developments you make, the standard you create is a little international than just local. Then the other question was on how do you ensure collaboration in a world of self-individualism and everyone is on their own. And so I think on that, I'm going to say, I think much of it has been said by Umar. But I really think, personally, my opinion is it's really backward that we still view people as our competition. I think we ought to define ourselves as something larger than, your income, your salary. So if you're going to win about a cause and you want to contribute positively on something, I don't understand why you should show the clash with this guy who has a different idea or try to create your own many different things, because the impact becomes minimal and there's nothing, just becomes fights. And again, who gets more salary and then you get money and then that's it. And we end up in this whole circle. But also, I think this is largely because out of lack of exposure, I would say. I think also I hinted on it. So, like for instance, I think I spent the last 1 month in Denmark, and to my surprise, I think I was on some activity where we had the prime ministers and DTC. They would come riding bicycles. The only difference between maybe an MP and a minister would be that a minister would wear somehow a suit, but still a suit on a bicycle. And then maybe the other one, an MP would just come in jeans and looks a little shabby. But the whole point is that they define themselves not on how big they are dressed and etc. It's more about how much impact have they made. When they start speaking about the things they've done, that's when you start to view an individual. But here, it's more about the optics. It's more about I have to look this, I have to be this big. And then all that hinders even the activities we do. Because then you won't be able to come and work with Sangala on a good project because it won't give you enough money to buy yourself some nice fuel for your Mercedes. You end up saying, I'm not that class. So you end up not having any impact because one prioritizes only things that you think benefits you financially. And I think it's a backward way of thinking. So if we can restructure that and restructure our priorities and restructure what things are valuable beyond money and tangible stuff, I think we'll be able to have collaboration easy. We'll be able to honestly and honestly have some impact on community.
Wow. Thank you very much, Engineer, there, and wraps it up with that powerful talk. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure talking to you and having these wonderful ladies and gentlemen talking to you, and I believe at least we will have something to take home for the day. The day is not closing. We are only actually starting. Immediately after lunch, we are going to have some, insightful speeches from our keynote addresses, individuals that we still have to hear from. The Agriculture Students Association still has to give out certificates. Handover also. We have a cake. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have? Yeah. Okay. So yes, now I'm sure I can authoritatively confirm that we will have cake, some cake bite in the afternoon. You don't have to go. But most important of all, before we begin the afternoon session, we will be able to have some battles with this creation. Now, in case you feel like you can be able to beat the whole audience, we have transport back home with you, a whole whooping 20,000. Like you can hear that, yeah? So whoever is going to win, I don't know how, we used to call it, what? You used to call it what? Yes? Juggling, huh? Okay, no, I want the local language. Obukumi, right? Okay, so we will have the best at that immediately after lunch, and you win yourself 20,000. Feel free to add them more prizes in case you have that to give all through. But we will have that. So all is to say that the afternoon session is even more interesting. You don't have to go away. You is watching us live on Creative Digital Media. Otherwise, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing to talk to us. And we call it an afternoon. For now, can I take on your role, sir? I was about to call someone who is willing to pray for our lunch, but I will transfer the power back to the master of this ceremony. Before that, in the audience, I see someone I played this ball with, Comrade Elton. Exactly. This gentleman, we fought all the Ronaldo battles on this game way back in time. Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
As we earlier learned, we said, we give them a hand clap and we say, let's all meet up. Guys, even if we are hungry, please, let's warm it up. The earlier, the better. We roll. Stop. Thank you very much, our dear panelists, and request you take the seats. You see, when the stomach becomes empty, the head becomes too heavy for it to support, and the thinking too. So right now, our dear guest speakers, we are privileged to welcome you to this session, and you'll be the first people to earn lunch, to taste the flavors, and that tempting meal right over there. You will tell us what it has, and all the different species of food from the world. Thank you very much. I request you take that. Then, after them having their lunch, we shall have our panelists have lunch, and then we were talking about opportunities and strategizing. First come, first serve. So we shall start with the guys at the front, table by table, go be served, and then as we follow. I think let us have a prayer before we have our meal. Loving Father in heaven, man shall not only thrive with food, but also by your word. We thank you for this opportunity that you've given us, our daily bread. And as we're going to have it, let it embrace our will, mindset, and heart with understanding, innovation, and skilling. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. DJ, we can have some soothing music throughout this session. And Letitia, wherever you are, please, you're needed urgently. And feel free to interact with your buddies. Say, know their names, check out what you've learned today. break the challenge. Embracing opportunities. 2, 3, 4. And we have the winner for the 20,000, please. Mr. Sankara, please come and give our winner his reward.
Yeah, a very good afternoon to all of us. Yeah, thank you very much for the people who participated in the game section. Let us give them a hand of applause. Yeah, right now we're going to have our second speaker. Our second speaker, and he's on a hurry. So I will request Doctor to come in and give us a word, one or two, then we start off. Thank you. Let's welcome him with a thunderous hand clap. Dr. Abel Arnito.
No. As we earlier learned. Are we ready? Guys, you've eaten lunch. Are we ready? Somebody say, "Awoo." Awoo. Okay, let's go. Chop. Doctor, you're most welcome.
Thank you, the organizers, for this session. I want to first introduce myself. Some of you don't know me. Who is this Abel before you? Abel is a farmer. Abel is a trainer. Abel is a researcher. And Abel is a businessman. Abel, so many things. Meaning, I've been told to talk about the next generation skills, the future of the youth. I want to first call upon the winners of the game, the ones who have just been playing the football. I want the first, the second, and the third. I want to talk about opportunity, strategy, and success. That is what would require you to survive in this world being dynamic. Can I get the winners? The first three winners, those who were able to score the highest scores. These are the three. The first one is this one? You are the first? Oh, okay. I want you to pick four members of your team. I want us to play another game. 4 members. He also picks 4 members, and you also pick 4 members. Pick at random. And I want to see whom do you pick first. That is by random. One might wonder, why have the rest been left behind? That's the life. Life presents itself with opportunities, and already some have been selected. Already, it's not by luck, it's just by chance. So already, some members have been picked. I don't know whether you decided to use friendship or it's by random chance. And we shall have a challenge. Let's bring back our ball. Let's put it here in front. And we are going to use the same ball. You're going to face this side. And I'm going to give an instruction. The challenge would be to pass through the challenge, which is the ball, without knocking it. Face back the other side, and you're going to face the other side. I'm going to first deal with the first group. It is going to be only for 5 minutes, this activity. I want to take it a very short time. The first group is the middle one. Okay. Make a line, first of all. Make a line. And the rules of the game are that you don't look behind. No, a line which is more or less like a horizontal line, like this, close to each other. the task ahead of us, which is our challenge, which we are presenting to ourselves. I want you are going to move backwards without seeing behind, and I want you to pass through this ball without knocking it. And I'll give you a warning when you are about to reach it, such that you know that you are about to knock the ball. But the strategy is make sure you pass through this challenge. It's a life challenge, and you must pass through. Others, you be on the watch. And you're going to move, you first look at me. I want you to use the back side like this without looking at the ball. Isn't it? Okay. Now face in front. No, you face backwards. And now start to move backwards without looking behind. And I'll give a warning that you're about to knock. Move. You're about to knock the ball. So mind your movement, but continue moving. Make sure you don't knock the ball. Make sure you don't knock the ball over. The ball is knocked. Now for you, you be on the side now. Let's look at the second group. The second group, still the same thing. I want you to now make sure you don't knock the ball. The same thing. I'll still give a warning. The ball is behind, so make sure you don't knock it. So you start moving now. Make sure you don't face behind. Move, 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 move. Warning, move, 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 move. Continue moving, continue moving, continue moving. You're about to knock the ball. You're about to knock the ball. Move. Now you can, these guys are the pros. Let's see how these guys are going to do it now. Now they have mastered the game. And for that matter, I'll give you a gift for that. So let's have this group also do the same strategy. Now the ball is behind you. And you can start to move now. Move, 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 move. Warning, you are about to knock the ball. Continue moving. Move, 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 move. Very good. Very good. That's what I wanted. The best. For that matter, group 2 wins an apple. And group 3, it wins an apple. But I want you not to eat it. I want you to give it to your friend. Look for a friend and give it to him. Look for a friend and give that apple to a friend. Anyone within, whether in the audience or within the group. Give it a friend that you feel he should deserve this apple. Now you see. It's challenges, and you have to plan accordingly. You saw how they moved. Whom did they lift? It was this group which lifted somebody. And the first one, it was a learning lesson. Actually, after seeing how the challenge was, these guys mastered the art. They mastered the art, and they were able to circumvent the problem. By the second group, what did they do? They just basically planned a way of escaping the problem. That was a good strategy. These guys used a different approach, and they moved across the board. Can you also give it to your friend or to your colleague whom you wish? Justify why you have given it to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Solomon is the one who picked us from the audience, and life has it that sometimes things are not meant to stay. the person who may be lucky today may be unlucky tomorrow. So if you're made to access an opportunity through somebody, okay, it is courtesy that you should always maybe follow them up and see if they are still doing well. Because I can be lucky today, tomorrow I'm in crisis, I'm broke. So we had to remember the person who brought us up. That's why we have decided to give back the gift to him. Thank you.
You can all go back. This is my summary of what I wanted to give you. I was told to talk about work in the next century or in the future work in agriculture. And I know in this house we have more than agricultural students, isn't it? We have IT, we have doctors. Can I see other members apart from those who are doing agriculture? The other members who are non-agriculturists, you are welcome. I was told that I should talk about the future skills in agriculture. Today, when you look at agriculture as a profession, I introduce myself as a farmer, a trainer. I've been doing research for the last 12 years, agricultural research. I'm a businessman, I'm an agripreneur, I'm into real estate. That is a dynamic person you need. In the next century, when you look at the changing agricultural landscape, the space is so dynamic that you need to survive in this environment. And there's no way you can survive in this environment when you are not smart. What do I mean by being smart? Smartness is just going beyond the usual clothing or the usual smartness. I mean both in mind and innovation. Here we are today trying to talk about innovations in agriculture. When you have a challenge, that's an opportunity for you. Make sure you turn those challenges into opportunities. Agriculture is one of the most challenging fields that we have today in Uganda. Back home, farmers are crying of losses in all fields. Whoever has tried poultry is losing out. Whoever has tried piggery is moving out because of production challenges. Because they have continued to do the same thing they used to do in the past. The way their grandfathers used to prepare to manage fields, they want to mimic the same way. In the current environment, the world needs smart people in the brain for you to survive in this sector. The sector is so changing, it's so dynamic, and therefore you must have the skills that would enable you adapt and adopt the technologies. We are lucky that I'm into the skilling of these young ones, but I believe I bring experiences from the field of research where I've been for the last 12 years and now into skilling the young youth. And when you look at agriculture as a sector, everybody at least eats. Do you have anybody who doesn't eat? So food, that is all the market. We have a saying that if you can't market it, don't make it. We have been hearing previous speakers talking about marketing, innovation. The food is the one that is actually, it is changing and everybody needs to eat. As we speak today, we clocked 8 billion last year as on a global scale. Uganda, we are 45. 2025, we shall be 50 million. 2040, we shall be 75. 2050, we shall be 100 million Uganda people. Million people in Uganda. What does that mean? All those people need to eat. And we are losing too much in post-harvest. We are losing too much due to climate change. We are losing too much due to pests and diseases. All those are potential areas that you must develop your skills on in order to make sure you are able to provide food. And as long as everybody is eating, you are selling, you are making money. So you need the skills to make sure you are able to turn these challenges in agriculture into opportunities for making money. And that's what you should be able to strive for. Because if you are assured of 100 million Ugandans, that's already a big market. We are looking up to you in the next century, or in the next few years from now, to be the game changers of this economy, whereby we have almost 80 to 90% of the entire population actually thriving based on this sector. And that means it presents a big opportunity for us to innovate, to make sure we survive. Some of these things are real, they are not going to go away. If you look at the current trends in the climate change, the pest dynamics, the production trends, everything is really not good. And it's us who have the science, who have the knowledge to make it happen, to make it change. So we need to make better products. We need to make better things. And like I mentioned earlier, that if you can't sell it, don't make it. That means we have to have the skills, we have to innovate, and make sure we have the good skills for marketing. That would actually make you survive in this landscape. Don't only look for these white-collar jobs or formal employments. There are many, many things that you can do. And even us who are into the formal employment, we are looking up to going back into farming, going back into side hustling. I'll give an example. The late Aponye, most of you, he was born this week actually. He's a renowned businessman. People have regarded him as the better. He has hustled through life, but he's now an icon in terms of business. He was an icon in business, from hustling into a great businessman. That's what life teaches you. And in life, I believe where you have been, you are learning. Some are going to be, or you are seeing your friends already there. Others, you are even complaining, why am I like this? So and so whom I started with is far better than me. And yet, we have the same schooling. Life will give you different lessons. I gave you this challenge, and you saw how it was presenting opportunities to different members. Some were able to earn themselves an apple. So, and you are there like, why is so and so getting better jobs or is better off than me? That's opportunities. They are turning, but you cannot remain in your position without doing anything. You are already placed in a position that you can do something and you change that. Please, look to making things better. Already where you are, some people actually are craving to be there. But you are looking at yourself as, why am I like this? Why am I not getting money? Why am I not rich? That is the life challenge. It presents itself with different opportunities, and people, you must be able to wake up. And the best way, if you remain lamenting in your position, you will not make it. So in life, I'm urging you that please make your hands dirty. Put those skills into work. There is no way you'll be able to thrive in the world of challenges without doing something. It's you limiting yourself. Members, let's all agree that we have to do something beyond what we are. And that's what would make you different. 10 years from now, when we meet somewhere, you should be able to say, okay, you told me this, everything is possible. But you have to juggle through the life and innovate. And nowadays, the science, when you have the knowledge, like you that you have some bit of the knowledge, you leverage better, even when you go to business, because you know the science of how things are done. That's why, like for instance, for some of our colleagues, those who join into business, and they are doing the business which they studied, nobody competes them. Because they understand the science, they understand the theory, now they're into practice. Others who just go green or blind without really, so they really meet things, but life teaches them they learn through life challenges. But for you, you have the basics, which I believe you should be able to take on and be able to mentor or to be better people. I look forward to seeing you as big managers, big generals in the field of agriculture and other fields. But in this world, IT is key. The smart skills I'm referring, we have to think innovatively. My colleagues from the IT world appreciate that nowadays, in the next century, we are into a generation that is actually, you must be able to have the IT skills. Even all these technologies are all built on IT. So you must better up your skills in that field. Smart farming, if you have to think of smart farming, we are basically trying to think of using IT to manage our fields. I can monitor my crops while I'm here. I can know while the crops, if they are in Kamwenge, whether a crop X is suffering from my phone. I'll be able to know that a crop in block X is struggling because of maybe a stress due to water stress, or maybe a pest has attacked it. That is IT. I'm able to monitor my crops. If somebody goes into my garden, I'm able to see if my animal maybe strays away from the farm, I will know that, okay, this animal number X has gone to my neighbor, or it is eating the crops of the neighbor. From this, all that takes you to really understand how you can actually use some of these skills into farming, and you be a better person, you be a better. So basically, the next generation agriculturist or somebody who is an expert in that field, you not run away from the IT skills, you not to run away from the current innovations in value addition, because the world, the landscape is changing. Members, I think with those few words, in the interest of time, let me stop there. But we can always, this meeting was very, very timely, and I really implore the organizers. It was really a nice time to come and interact with you and see you strategize how to better yourselves in the next generation or in the next future from now. I beg to stop here for now. Thank you.
We want to do it? Let's make it. Stop. Thank you very much, our general. And right about now, at this moment, we want to welcome Dr. Moses, the Senior Veterinary Officer of Mbarara City. No. Let's make it for him too. Stop.
Good afternoon, everybody. I observe all the protocol here, and I will reintroduce myself as Moses Samanyiri. As the just former speaker. Are you getting me? I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer. I am a civil servant. I'm a director of one small company. Professionally, I'm a veterinary surgeon. I am an agriculturist. So that's me. I actually take this opportunity to thank you, everybody here, for having thought that maybe I can add value to your life through speaking to you. I remember, I'm told here we have finalists. A day like this in 2002, we also had some speakers shape us, guide us, tell us stories of what the future held then. I'm glad to be now one also telling some other young people who are about to join the world. Not so? I take the opportunity also to actually appreciate the work being done by this center, the Innovation Village. Surely, I've lived in Mbarara, I'm in Mbarara. I have always driven around this place, seeing the word Innovation Village, but I had never thought, I have always thought of coming to see what they do, but I think the right time was this. I want to thank them and commend them for the good work they are doing. For me, through my work, I've interacted with young people like you. I've seen people go through my hands, especially through sessions of mentorship, internship for those who have visited me. You know me. Maybe my career started way back in 2003 with NAGRIC, for those who know, National Animal Genetic Resource Center and Data Bank, where it was mainly breeding, animal breeding. But later I found myself in the local government and in other areas, as I will share with you. But most importantly, and this is the word I will continue saying, that they normally say it, but we don't take it, we just take it for granted. I will use the word thinking outside the box. Okay? Throughout. After completing my university degree, after graduating, I was so excited. I was very happy. And their life in the field just awaited for us. I didn't know where actually, yes, I knew I'm going out, I'm a vet doctor, there are so many things, but I didn't know that I had other qualities and potentials and skills that would land me in some other thing, not totally related to veterinary medicine. As I was still waiting for my papers, after graduation, you don't get your certificate, you have nothing, by the way, apart from that testimonial where it is stamped or by academic register, I don't know. Okay? So the only available opportunity, I saw guys given an opportunity here to kukora makumi, Don't waste your opportunity. Whenever it comes like, just grab it. So as I was still thinking of where now to go, trying to make linkages with those seniors I knew, ministry, trying to look for a job, there came an opportunity through my brother. He was like, but Moses, I intended to begin a stationery shop. Can't it keep you busy as you wait for what to do? And of course, as he was telling me, at first what came into my mind, because for him he was a teacher. For those who went through Chivur Secondary, he was a teacher for a long time there. So I was like, but surely this brother of mine, he looks at the whole doctor into now papers, doctor of papers. You get? Why? Came very fast. I was like, it could be an opportunity. Sitting home, you also end up joining the kids to watch cartoons. A university graduate, because you are staying at home, you are doing nothing, you end up joining what? You also become a cartoon fan at the end of the day. So I was like, this is an opportunity. One, it was an opportunity because a stationery shop had papers, had computers, had photocopiers. So I would even photocopy my CV. I would do, you see that the opportunity, how it came. I will not be even asking for money that please, mpayo kasente, I go and do photocopying of my papers. But now, I was in charge. You see? So I agree, we begin a business. As I was still trying to learn on how to work with the papers, sell papers, photocopy, type letters for these guys, whoever brought these documents, there came opportunities. Opportunities will come to you when you are positioned. Opportunities will not find you where you are not what? Opportunities are like a running river. If we want to be taken by the river, but of course you don't want that. But I'm trying to use that one as an example. If we want really to be blown by the river, you go and stand in the wall of River Nyamwamba. It will come and do what? And sweep you. So as I was still looking at trying to get familiar with the work, with the papers and all that, now opportunities started coming. There are those LC1 chairmen in Kampala, I don't know whether here in Ankole, who want to speak English in Uganda, but typed in what? So I would make speeches, because for them they used to have those big guys coming, ministers, what. They used actually, I had a very good client around Chibuli area there. He would come, hey young man, now we are going to receive a minister and I want to say these words and I will want to welcome him in English, you know, all those things. So I will actually write things in English, but in Uganda. It was a lucrative business, by the way. So I would write, how are you? You are most welcome. My English na business kept expanding. As I was still there, then I realized an opportunity. There were young people who had finished some, not university, but they wanted to get a skill of just computer literacy. So there I was like, but I can train. Because I knew my Excel, I knew my Word, you know, like many of us. For you nowadays, you have the social media, it has also taught you so many things. But for us, that time, to know what they call typesetting, those things of, you know, using a computer and you write a letter was enough. You were a guru, a guru in that area. So, I realized that there were people who wanted that skill. What do? I put a kapande on the door of the shop. Computer training. A week, 5,000. 5,000 was a big money, you guys. 5,000. The time I completed 5,000 would buy a small kagoti. So I put a kapande, 5,000. Excel, MS Word, Vichy, and internet. Just to use internet also that time could be a big thing. A week. And it was business. This business helped me not to touch my brother's money. You know, after completing the university like this, you are an adult, a real adult. Leave alone the issue of 18 years. You are an adult. Because I had several of my brothers around Kampala. When I was still at Makerere, I used to sleep in Rumumba. I would just slope, jump on a taxi, go to brother X, and I was very sure that by the time I go back, at least the 5,000 will come. And they will willingly do what? Because you are a student. But immediately you graduate. Now you become an adult. And there are things even now you will not even tell people. Because you're what? So immediately you begin thinking of how should I actually move forward. So by 1 week, 2 weeks, the class was growing. And the other business of being a kafur, of writing Uganda in English, had also grown up. Because this chairman told another chairman, and at the end of the day had what? A line of them. And Kampala is a little bit busy, not like in Mbarara. They had so many visitors, so many functions, and these guys wanted to go and speak English in Uganda. You get? So all that happened, but now, whatever you do, there are things that will always try to pull you back. Even when you are at the top of your thing, something will try to distract you. Sometimes I sit and regret that why did I allow this to distract me? Because I sometimes think that that path maybe was better. You get? So, but we are here to share some of these things so that the mistakes I make or I made in life are not done by the generation following me. That's why I think you call us to share with you. Okay? That the mistake I have shared with you, you shouldn't repeat it. Me, nobody had shared with me that actually continuing with that life would have been, I would have even come back to my profession when I was very able. Okay? So, should I tell you what happened? In the photocopying and all that, there came young ladies, like you guys, girls I see around here, that who had also completed with me. They were also looking for jobs like me. Now I begin photocopying their papers. Of course, I was looking at the papers. Then all of a sudden, for those who know photocopies and these printers, sometimes they can misbehave and bring all the ink on somebody's paper. Then these girls, you know, they are studied, they can speak English, and you are like, they are from where? Yeah? Now they speak, they say, this is an educated guy. Why do you spoil my things? What? And I closely look at the paper. Social sciences, 3 years at the university. Me, I had completed my 5 years. So in a way, I felt pride. You get? Now pride came in. Pride is one enemy that can distract us. I really, inside me, I felt like, yes, we used to say social sciences, but these guys actually, they are doing great things. Sometimes I feel like I need to go and take a course in social sciences. You get? So I was like, imagine. Moreover, these girls, they have, no. I went home and told my brother that, you know what? I feel like I want to go to the village. Because my mind told me cows, whatever I found in the village. This business of these people to come here and begin disorganizing you. I forgot about all the opportunities and decided to go to the village. But also going to the village, I had a plan. For me right away, it is surprising that I still work for government, but right out from the university, my mind was set to go do my own things. Because I believe, and I believed, that the course I had done, like you guys, was more practical. It was a practical course that needed me to use my knowledge and use that course and do something. So I happen to have a brother who is a medical doctor. I called him, he is a bit older, senior than me. And I said, Doctor, please, I intend to come to the village, and straight, I want to go in the heart of cows where they are found. Kazo. So I wanted to go to Kazo, open up a drug shop, now run into the world. Go to the field, do work, what, all those things. That was what? But above all, as we do all these things, I don't know what your faith is all about, but also God has his other plans. So as I was coming, trying to go to Kazo, and my brother had promised me some money as startup capital. And that time for us, we used to have, they used to call it mango line, something. UTL. Is it UTL? It was called mango. And mango used to, whoever had mango was actually a student because it was cheap. So as I tried to change the number and call somebody in the ministry whom I had linked up with, finally he diverted me and I found myself where. But in conclusion, I want to conclude. One, do a SWOT on yourself analysis. Know your strength, know your weaknesses, know the opportunities around you, and know the threats. Okay? Once you get to know that, then you will explode. I've told you that as much as I work with Mbarara City, but I'm a good farmer. I was raised by a farmer who was raising his cows on a 100+ acre farm. He used to keep SWOT, and we must meet that. My colleague talked about the challenges in production in agriculture. Yes, they are there because as the educated, we have not brought out the innovations, the technologies, the whatever we have acquired from school into play. We are still doing things the way our fathers used to. My father used to sell 100 liters of milk daily from like 20 cows milked daily. I'm selling over 60 liters of milk daily from about 4 cows. So I have used whatever I acquired from school to turn into, I'm raising on a 50 by 100 acre. I don't need a farm, but I need innovations. I need knowledge. I think I'm one of those who started using grass cut from along the roadside, especially here in Mbarara. And people thought I was taking the grass to the banana plantation. But this grass was for. So what I'm trying to conclude with, one, there are opportunities for you. In the public sector, yes, fine. If you get the job, well and good. But these jobs are according to the structures already set. They have a minimum number they can take, the maximum number they can take. But there are opportunities outside that. One, there are opportunities at production level. You can be a farmer. You can be in value addition. People run to think of milk turning into cheese, milk turning into yogurt, all that. But I'm telling you, there are what? Opportunities in value addition. One, we have issues of feeds for these animals, for instance. There are people who don't have cows, don't have animals, but they are doing silage, they are doing hay, and they are making money. Okay? Today, I have just sent 1 ton of silage to Ruwero. Somebody, I think one of the panelists, talked about what difference do you have in relation to your colleagues. You have all studied from the same class. But when you get out, the pace won't be the same. Someone will look at a 6 and another one will look at a 9. Okay? It is all about how you look at things. Okay? I have exported hay gotten from along the roadside to Kayunga on a bus. Make your bales, make your whatever, turn them, pack them well. That is value addition, because I want us to remove that mind. I've always talked to people, whenever you talk about value addition, they think agricultural product less. So I'm told there's no time, and actually I was also not having it. I want to wish you all the best. I want to encourage you to think outside the box, okay? Do what you're supposed to do with all your knowledge. May God bless you.
Very much, Dr. Moses. I think it has now become a culture, not so? Let's warm it for him and give it to him. Stop. Right about now, we are coming to the final part of this session, and it's the Mbarara handover. So without wasting a lot of time, I request the Vice President of Mbarara, the outgoing Vice President of Mbarara. Does everybody know Mbarara? Please, Papa Boniface, please.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity, Mr. JR. Mbarara means Mbarara University Agriculture Students Association. So in brief, we call it Mbarara. Thank you.
I think he has been very clear and he has communicated. Is it okay? You know, today we've learned a lot. Mr. Wilson, please come over here. We have communicated. We've learned how to communicate, to set ourselves for these opportunities, embrace the challenges, learn from failures, and remember that opportunity is never a guarantee. Thank you very much. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Mr. MC. Gaz Wilson is my name, and I happen to be the outgoing Vice President of Mbarara. I would love to thank you, appreciate the previous speakers, appreciate the panelists we had in the first place. But before that, I was delegated by the President because he wasn't able to make it today, though he was here in the morning, in the first place. So, as the Vice President, allow me to thank whoever that has added up something to this day to be a success. I really can't forget to thank the outgoing team of Mbarara that I've been working with. You have really done everything. Thank you so much. I would love to recognize all the disciplines. I would love to appreciate all the disciplines that have joined us on such an occasion. We have those from business, we have engineering, we have. You're most welcome. Thanks for making it a success. To be brief, we don't learn so much when we hear ourselves speak. So I don't want to speak much because we have grasped whatever has been whatever has been said by the previous speakers. The intent or the major point about everyone was hitting on was opportunity. You get? Once you once you position yourselves properly, opportunities will have to trace you, right? I want to thank Mubwasa outgoing cabinet. Thanks for everything. You made the Agricultural Innovation Day a success. You have been able to make us be represented at campus. However much we make the least number amongst the many programs we have at campus. And it is upon the new cabinet right now that is going to repress us, or the incoming, to fight so hard that you make things we have not yet achieved so far. We need representation, we need teamwork, we need lots of things. How I pray, I'm just going to give you one task. That, as I said, I won't speak so much. I thank you so much. As we go in for this, this session, I want to appreciate whoever that has done some activity in the previous regime. We thank you so much. The previous speakers, we are so thankful. You have really talked about issues that are in line with our life, right? Thank you so much.
Before you go, I think you should first stay. I will take this opportunity to welcome Director Peter Dusabe to come and issue these certificates to the outgoing Nwabine Derek. We shall have Katara Boniface,
Please let us clap for them as they pick their certificates.
who served as the Year 2 representative. We shall have Ahirire Letitia, who served as the publicity secretary. We shall have Agaba Filbert, who served as the general secretary. Abigaba Mubarak, who served as the treasurer. We shall have Kumara Cosmans, who served as the speaker. We shall have Mugaji Wilson, who served as the association vice president. And then lastly, we shall have Okwakwa Joel, who served as the association president. And we request Dennis to come and pick this for Joel. And I will request the new president of the association, please come right here and introduce the new cabinet. Thank you very much. Letitia, wherever you are, let's welcome the vice president of the association to usher her team for the handover ceremony, and then we can have the cake cutting and leave this place. Let's warm for the outgoing cabinet as we usher in the new one. Nah. Guys, we are concluding. Are we ready? Let's roll. I didn't end it. Let's do it one more time. Let's go. Chop.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Oliver Katshabe, the incoming Vice President Mwasa, and I'm happy to be part of you this afternoon. I'm introducing you the new incoming cabinet, and I will read the incoming cabinet so that it can come in front to initiate the handover. The president will be Ahira Letisha.
Let's give them a round of applause as they come.
I'm Katshabe Oliver. Clap for me. The treasurer would be Abdul Rusiba.
That's General Hakim.
The general secretary would be Charisi Makosent.
General Secretary.
The publicity secretary, that is the mobilizer, will be Chibenge Francis.
Chibenge Francis.
Year 3 representative will be Wakosi Francis.
Wakorach Francis in his absentia.
The Year 2 representative will be Nkwanga Richard.
Richard, the Year 2 representative.
The speaker is currently absent. He's called Musasizi John, but I think most of you know him. Welcome him as well.
I will represent the Year 1s. I will represent the Year 1s and the cabinet in their absentia. I think, Mr. Vice President, this is time for the respective outgoing cabinet to come and hand over the power to the new cabinet, right? The Treasury Department. Money. Papa Boniface, please. He's handing over spiritual power to Wakorach Francis in his absentia. We shall have the General Secretary, Agaba Philbert, hand over to Charisima Constant. That is the Secretary Department. A hug? Oh, dear ones. We shall have the mobilizer, the Public Secretary, Letitia, hand over to mobilizer Chibenga Francis. Oh, dear ones. We shall have the Year 2 coordinator, Nwabini Derek. By then in Year 1, please come and hand over power to the Year 2 representative. That's Derek, handing over to Richard. That's a book of records with all secrets. And then we shall have Mugaji Wilson hand over power to Olive, the new Vice President, Her Excellence. Oh, it's His Excellence, Olive. And then we shall have Dennis. Please come represent the President, hand over power to the new Cabinet President. A term of service. Let's warm it up for them. Stop. And ladies and gentlemen, not to forget, with this new cabinet, they have decided to make Our belly is excited for us who have taken long without having a cake. This is a meal that doesn't need washing hands. Germs, we don't know whether they aren't aware of it. And I request Letitia to take us through the demand. Yeah. In fact, the outgoing president is very photogenic, and he has requested the outgoing cabinet to come and have a group photo with the new cabinet. Thank you very much. With due respect, we can't forget our dear guests in this place. Please, you're most welcome. Director. They feel they need to create that opportunity, and they're maximizing it right now. Make the cover. Please, short people in front. Sefene. Cheers. Oh, that's good. I think we can. Oh, President, please run. Yeah, she's trying to catch up with the opportunity. It is a dynamic world. It's a beautiful cabinet, and we expect beautiful results. Wow, thank you very much. I think right about now we can have the cake cutting, and I request Tisha, please. Forgive Letitia, she's part of everything. Yeah, it has been her nature to take on all opportunities. The short as usual. Sefene. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I think, ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up for the final session. I request Mr. Sankara to come and join our key speaker.
Okay, people are going to cut the cake. Dr. Peter, you're going to be with us. Mr. Sankara, the outgoing president and the incoming president.
Excuse me. A brief communication.
Yeah, thank you. I see some colleagues, of course, started running away. So I wanted to communicate to you people that we have earmarked days from today until the 30th of the month. We are earmarking the month for skilling, but we are opening it up to groups and individuals. Certainly when you came through, especially those that were not part of the Agriculture Association, I'm sure you must have thought about, okay, let me go, I will want to witness these future skills. And to your disappointment, we didn't feature, the skills. We didn't embed them. But it is an open opportunity this month here. You can be an individual, but we prefer groups. You want to reach out and say, okay, we need to be skilled in this area or in this kind of, it could be tech, it could be whatever you want to be skilled in. And then for this whole month, we will be able to schedule with you the appropriate time that you can be able to make it around, and we take you through that particular. So I just felt like we needed to have that loud and clear. Then the gentleman that won the ball, you have your transport ready. I know when these people take a bite on a cake, They might not recognize that you won. When you win, we need to recognize you. Yes, please come back and let the world that is watching live and the people here witness that you actually competed and you won anyway. Yes, this is not to delay our cake moment. I don't know if anyone has a question to the Innovation Village in particular. Please, may you use the winning instincts, the spirit of winning. Eh? Sorry, I was to say amen. But it's okay. We say that the winning spirit that you have, the luckiness that you have within you, please, may you use it to transform the community by thinking about an innovative solution that will compete on a global platform. Thank you very much and congratulations. So, Thursday we will host here a business forum. A business forum from the city business leaders, the big tycoons in town that you know, and also the city leadership. Ever since we received the city, we have not talked about opportunities that came with that, the business opportunities that came with that. So next Thursday, we'll be focusing on the future of business in Mbarara, and we'll have these people here. We will have a chance for young people to pitch before investors. We have made sure one of those that comes will be willing to invest in an innovative idea. So Thursday is another big day here that you can earmark. Of course, not forgetting, Wednesday, strategy awards. We usually do 7 to 10. It's a night here full of indoor games, live band playing here, some drinks, and kumanyagana generally, you know, connecting. Eh? Can it happen? Okay. Kale, thank you very much. Tisha, it is your space.
Most welcome, Mr. Sankara. I think right now we can call Bryony to give. I think we warm up for Hanutso. For sure, she deserves a big one. Let's warm it. Stop.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bryony Masaba. I'm not from around here, but again, my name is Bryony Masaba. I'm not from around here. I'm a psychology student from elsewhere, but it has been an honor, Mr. Dusabe, for all of us to listen to you and learn from you. I believe I'm speaking for all of us when I say we have learned so much from you, and we have taken much more than we came in with. Like one of the speakers said, we came in walking, but I believe we're going out.
Matthias, how do you do your things?
Stop.
Thank you very much. Right now, we are going to cut cake cutting. Sorry. Cake cutting. Yeah.
Cutting.
So I'm going to invite Mr. Dusabe Peter and Mr. Sankara and the outgoing president and the incoming president to cut the cake. Yeah. Maybe DJ can give us a song as they come.
Congratulations, you have a reason to celebrate. Short friend, can you do the music?
Guys, get excited for the cake.
I think we shall spell Mboasa for the issue of order and have this cake cut. DJ? Oh, he's not there. We have some people with the talent of singing. Those who usually sing on happy birthday ceremonies and all. Are we ready? It's from Mboasa, and it's M B U S and A. Thank you very much. I think we can entrust the ladies at service to give out this session.
Oh, sugar cane sweet, but your love is sweeter.